What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 12 of Revolutionary Instigators. On today's episode, we have our friend Christian guest starring. Today, we're going to be talking about the differences between the generations from the baby boomers all the way up to Generation X, Y, and Z. Welcome.
Pretty damn groovy, man.
R.I.P.
Yeah, I know, right?
Your boy Mac.
I told you I was going to get one in there.
You did, but I'm not going to lie. You swindled me.
I did.
You swindled me, and I must say it worked.
It was a pretty good way. Ray said he was never going to listen to Mac Miller, ever.
You really are the contrarian.
Yeah.
You just have the hot takes.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing.
I like that view. I like that view.
Wait, I do have the hot takes, but it's truly how I feel, though. But let me tell you why I didn't fuck with Mac Miller. Just because when I first started listening to him, he had that higher pitched voice, and I really didn't. It wasn't him like as a. It had a little bit of something to do with him as a person, but like I didn't fuck with his voice. And then when I heard the new shit Andrew played in his car, when it became like lower and raspier, I was like, oh, this is actually not that bad. It's actually, and his beats are groovy.
You didn't listen to Nike's on My Feet?
No.
That was one of the smoothest songs that he ever put out, like to this day.
I played that in the car too.
It's actually pretty, it was pretty good.
Yeah, it's basically. Would you say something like what is that movie? Get Out.
Oh yeah,
like
you
trapped
me.
I like trapped him in the car because like we.
And I knew what he was gonna do too.
We went to this thing in DC and we're on the way back, and I played him some of the songs, and he was basically like, "You trapped me in the car to like play me the Mac Miller songs."
And I brainwash him.
Never listened to him.
I saw it as soon as it was coming, like. It got quiet, and then I saw this motherfucker going through his music. I was like, I knew exactly what he was about to do. I was like, this motherfucker will put up some Mac Miller, and I was expecting to hate the shit, but I was like, it's not that bad. Mac is actually a pretty good artist. I had nothing against him.
Yeah.
And it's not the whole like, oh, he's a white dude, because I fuck with Yellow Wolf, I fuck with Eminem.
Yellow Wolf's really good.
I fucking love Yellow Wolf, right? But it was just something about Mac Miller's voice starting out that I just, and once I got that sample of it, I had no incentive to go out and seek more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck it.
I don't know. Like to me, like the first I don't know if it was the first one, but Kids was like his first big one.
Yeah.
That was a big like time like music piece. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was like during high school, like when it came out for me.
Uh-huh.
So like the content, the shit he was rapping about was the shit
He
I
was
thought
what,
I was
16?
doing. I don't know how old he was.
Yeah.
He was young though.
16
when he put out that mixtape, I think.
See, and if I was in high school at the time too, because a lot of people around that age hopped on to Mac Miller, and I imagine if I was younger, I probably would have gotten more into him, and because I would have had more chances to hear him.
Yeah.
But like being older and being in my group who really didn't fuck with Mac Miller either, there's like no way I would have heard him unless like somebody forced me to. You know what I'm saying? Like unless you terrorize me, bro.
Their car.
Is that kidnapping, bro? That's kidnapping.
I was giving you a ride home. I don't think that's kidnapping.
That's what all the kidnappers say.
I was just giving her a ride home. I get to choose the music.
Officer.
That's good.
That's what all the Uber drivers.
Looked like she needed to get home. I mean, shit.
I mean,
she had a fat ass, and ipso facto, she got to get home.
Yeah. That's awful.
This is why this podcast ain't gonna last. If this shit ever gets blown up, it's gonna be because of me. If anything ever happens where we end up on the front of a Me Too cover page, it's gonna be because of Ray.
Man. Yeah, I'm just hoping that my employer never hears any of it. You know.
Yeah, we're gonna get canceled. Yeah, they're gonna find us on Twitter and
canceled. You could get banned.
Doxed.
I mean, we're on there and we don't even have that many followers, but we're trying.
I got you.
I'll take the 15 minutes of fame to get doxed.
We got like 43 right now. It's up. It's up since last episode.
There we go.
So slight progress, bro.
Yep. Man. But today we're gonna talk about just Christian. How old are you again?
24.
24. All right, and I'm 31. Ray, you're
29.
29. Okay, so we get good representation here. Yeah. But we're kind of on a further end of the spectrum.
Yes,
I feel like, and
yes.
you're on the other end,
Yeah.
Christian.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah.
we're not obviously we're in the same generation, so
Yeah.
sorry for all those times I called you a millennial or
Yeah.
anyone at the old office did.
That's cool, man. I mean, if you saw me with those fidget spinners, I would probably say the same thing.
Man, those things were everything.
Addictive as
And
fuck, right?
what was that, 2017? Those things
Yeah.
were everything.
Yeah.
But just being on that end of it, you have obviously a different perspective than we do on probably a lot of things, especially that we end up talking about on this show that are controversial or not, but most of it's controversial. But we wanted to make sure to stick to kind of the topics that you yourself are familiar with or like to talk about.
This is the only thing I know.
No, not this
This is what my
specifically.
personality
Titties.
revolves around.
We'll get into this later. Ray, I see you brought some slides along here.
I did.
About the different generations.
Yeah.
And some facts.
Yeah, just some statistics.
Okay. Anything that stuck out to you on here?
I basically just wanted to go through like all of them and define what they are, because
Okay.
I know a lot of people hear millennial, Gen X, Gen Y, and whatever, and they don't really know what it is. So I figured we can at
Yeah, I
least
don't
like
really.
break it down and define the at least the general consensus. It's not perfect, but this is what most people measure these by. So
This is probably the only one I'd actually recognize by like the name of it is the baby.
the baby,
boomers.
I think
Just
for
because
most
people
too.
came home from war and just started fucking.
Yeah, and they boomed some goddamn babies. I can tell you that much.
I mean, I get it though. They were about to die, and then everyone just came home and had like 8 kids.
Like, can you imagine being on the
so
brink?
many kids.
Being on the imagine coming from a point where you were sure you were gonna die, and then you get home and there's a bunch of beautiful women celebrating you, and you're like, I'm coming back to this. Oh, I'd have done a lot of fucking too. Just being.
This is. I mean, this is.
being-
That, are
being
your
straight up?
your parents in this age range? Mine are.
So baby boomers were
55 to
born
75?
between 1944 and 1964. They're currently between 55 and 75 years old. That is correct. Yes, my parents are.
Nah, mine are Gen X.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, we've talked about it before, but this says they're 90% at Facebook, highest consumers of traditional media like TV, magazines, radio.
Yeah.
Basically, all the shit that can. I mean, is your traditional
Melt
stuff,
your
but
brain.
brainwashing.
Yeah,
exactly.
brain
Yeah. I mean,
melter.
it's the stuff where you kind of don't really have to check the facts. You're just trusting people because they're telling you information.
Yeah. Oh,
We've
man.
talked about it before that our parents just tend to kind of take things for how they seem, just because that's how it was back in the day. People talk to you, and that's how you get information. And
Yeah.
other than that,
100%.
you hope that no one's lying to you,
I
but
mean,
they are.
My
all
mom,
the fucking time.
My mom, she's Gen X, but I remember one time she sent me an article from Facebook. It was about Planet X. She's like, Christian, Planet X is coming.
Oh,
I'm like, Mom, no, please, no.
Get off,
But it has
Mom.
so many likes, though. It has to be true.
I hate to jump in here, but there's some news recently that they
Oh,
might have
yeah.
found Planet X.
Oh, no.
All
Wait,
right,
don't
what's the
tell me
news?
that.
What's the news? What's the news?
Well, we'll get to you
Actually, you know
talking.
what? Please come. Just end it, please. Just end it all. Please. Planet X.
Hell, they coming to get me.
Yeah, no, seriously, I'm pretty sure there's a Planet X out there.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. And so, like, what is the gist of what they're saying about Planet X? We don't have to get into it too
Basically,
deep.
It's like this missing planet in our solar system that, like, the way it's like the sun and its gravitational pull or whatever
Oh.
its cycle, it's like it only comes around like every like couple million years or whatever.
Oh,
I
and
could be wrong on the number, but
and was it the thing they were saying that because they knew there was something out there, because like you said, there was this gravitational pull that they couldn't account for, and they said
believe
that
so,
it
yeah.
most likely had to be another planet.
yeah, it's something
That's
like that.
that's
yeah.
that thing. Okay, so I heard about it kind of. I don't know what I was listening to, but I heard about it in passing.
All right. Well, sorry, Mom. I guess if this is legit, I'm the idiot. And you're way smarter than me.
Well, the thing is that it's just now being researched by scientists. Back then, it was just people just speculating, but I guess it goes back further
Yeah,
than
I
we
remember
thought.
like Marvin the Martian. They
Yeah,
had like a little thing. Like,
Yeah.
Planet X, plant the flag here.
I do remember that.
Oh yeah,
shit.
Yeah.
you're right. He
Good
did.
baby boomer cartoons.
Oh yeah, it probably
I
was.
remember that.
Although I remember those cartoons as well, so those should have stayed around forever.
for a
Cartoons
minute.
didn't change a lot, you know.
It's on Amazon Prime now. I've been watching
Oh
it.
really?
Yeah.
It's
actually hilarious.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dog, I used to
Back when they didn't give a shit.
back when I used to chief a lot, bro. Like I'm 29 now. When I was like 4, bro, I just get smacked and watch hours of Tom and Jerry.
Oh,
I can
great show.
watch that shit
Tom and Jerry's so
endlessly,
funny.
bro.
Great show.
And there are no words. There are no fucking
Yeah.
words,
Oh,
but
okay.
it's
I
so
didn't even think
intense.
about that.
It's so intense. I felt like there were words happening, but I'm just watching these characters play out on a fucking cartoon. It was, yeah, I love Tom and Jerry. That's my fucking
Tom
favorite
and
show.
Jerry on site at all times.
That's my shit,
They're
bro.
ready to fight.
Yeah. All right, so what's Gen X? So Gen X was born between 1965 and 1979, and they're currently between the ages of 40 and 54. And what's a cool thing about them? They are they're shaping events. The kind of what defined their generation was the end of the Cold War, the rise of the personal computer, and feeling lost between two large generations, and that's between baby boomers and millennials.
Well, it
Gen
seems
X
like
kind of
they're-
does get forgotten
they're
about.
Also
kind
gotta
of the
think about it
same.
too. Like you gotta think of like the whole like free love and hippie movement. Like that's when they were born. So
Yeah.
their lives were shaped from like the baby boomers coming out of that
Yeah.
like mindset and starting to
Yeah.
settle down. So I feel
Yeah.
like that.
That is an odd
Yeah.
generation.
Yeah.
I'll say this. I do, out of all the generations, I think I know the least amount of people in the Gen X category.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
I
because most
don't-
of my friends'
I think
parents
like
are
grunge
in.
music, MTV,
Yeah.
yeah, like
Yeah.
that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Really? Because I mean, it only went to. Well, oh, okay. I guess when they're of
Yeah.
age, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
in the '90s for sure.
That's crazy. Like
Okay.
I'm thinking about my friend group. Or my contacts. I really don't know that many people, unless
Yeah.
like might be in passing at work. But
Oh yeah, a lot of our coworkers
Yeah.
are Gen X. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
but that's
I like
it.
how there's banking habits listed for all
Wait,
of these.
what does that say?
I don't, for each one, like the baby boomers prefer
Siphon.
going in the branch to do transactions, but don't reject digital or mobile.
Yeah, that's true. Well, actually, except for this old lady that was behind me today in the bank drive-through, she was honking and talking mad shit to me.
Oh, get the
Too
fuck
long.
out! What did you do?
I just had to cash a $35 check that my doctor sent me because he overcharged me.
Oh,
She's
that's
just,
nice.
I'm like, dude, I'm like, ma'am, it's 12:30. You have nowhere to go.
And
okay,
she was-
you are so old. You're driving
People get
Sebring.
fucking
Whoa.
mean at the bank, man.
Yeah, dude.
And she was cussing you out, like you could
She
see
was
her.
like
in your-
cussing. Yeah, I could see her in the rearview mirror. She
Wow.
was like raising her hand, you know, like getting all tough. I'm like, ma'am,
Isn't that
I'm not
crazy?
gonna do anything, but please stop.
Isn't that crazy? Like if this was like a century ago, you'd get clubbed.
It's like a baby boomer.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
for
they're-
sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
You don't
Yeah.
you don't understand. Like I'm a athletic grown man. Like say I wasn't wrapped too tight. Why provoke?
Right.
Ray has talked many times about violence against women
I'm-
and,
whoa,
how
wait.
it's hypothetically could be if they're drowning your kids. Okay.
I'm just saying.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, why would, yeah. So that,
I mean, I get
that type
it.
of
Yeah.
situation,
I'm just
yeah, for
saying.
sure.
And I'm just like, yo, if I'm, and not even just for like an old lady, for anybody in the car behind somebody just honking and cussing them out, you don't know who the fuck is in that car.
Yeah, 100%.
It could be me. You're right. It
People-
could be me in that car. And,
People get shot in traffic, bro. In
I know.
traffic.
That's what I always think about. If somebody can shoot me and I don't have my
For
gun
sure.
to
Like-
shoot back.
I mean,
Bruh.
but
Get in the Call of Duty
but
fight that I always
there
want
are
to get in
times,
before I
though,
go down.
There are times you can make a safe assumption because if you see somebody driving a Honda Fit or a Prius, I'm gonna cuss you out. Get out of my way. Sorry, Andrew.
Facts.
Dude, Prius. I don't drive a Prius.
Oh no, you look
I fucking hate Priuses, man. Every time. Me and Lydia were talking about it yesterday. Or no, we watched the Ellen DeGeneres stand-up special. Actually, pretty funny. But
Ellen
she
is
was
funny.
talking about how every fucking time something happens in traffic, it's always a fucking Prius in front of you. It's like it
It's
does.
true.
It happens a lot in Northern
It's
Virginia.
true,
At
man.
least I saw a guy with a Prius the other day and had a pink license plate, and he cut me off, and it just happened to be every fucking time. It's just always a Prius.
Do you think because they're like, hey, I'm saving the environment so I can kind of be a dick?
Yeah.
You think
for
it's
sure.
that type of like mentality?
Sure.
Yeah,
I think it is.
Or they're
it makes it.
overcompensating.
It makes it.
Or that.
My
Or that.
hurt feelings feel better though.
What do you
Like
mean?
to think of it that way.
Oh.
Yeah. It makes it seem more relevant.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Nah, I think
Hey,
there's
man,
something
do
to
you.
it.
I'm not gonna recycle, but please drive that Prius all you
I
want.
know.
Fucking assholes.
Yeah.
I hate them. All right, let's go to millennials.
All right.
What are they? All
That
right.
is us.
Cool.
That
They're
is
very
us.
cool. They're
Yes.
awesome.
That
Hip.
is from 1980 and 1994. So all
Okay.
of us from 24 to 38. That spans pretty far up there.
Yeah. Yes.
And that's in
Pause.
terms of the number of them. Hold on. It's the biggest group.
Please look at the media consumption. The first sentence.
94% still watch TV,
Damn,
but
shit.
increasingly cutting the cord for streaming options. Mobile is big, but 32% still use computers for purchases.
Huh.
Wait. what else would you? Oh,
Like
your
you know,
cell
like
phone.
like
Mobile, yeah.
like Amazon
Mobile.
one
Yeah.
tap.
I mean,
click.
I still use my computer.
Me too.
I mean, I use my phone a lot of the time too.
I
though.
actually
Yeah.
barely use my MacBook.
Really,
Yeah,
I've used my
I feel
computer
like
a ton.
I feel like
I do everything on
computers,
my phone.
at least
Yeah.
laptops, have gone away. Like people would rather have a big phone,
Like a
basically,
phablet?
tablet, a tablet or a phone,
Yeah.
you know, sitting on the couch or whatever. That's
Yeah.
what they use. But I would rather use my laptop for sure. I need
Dude,
a keyboard.
I like a keyboard.
Yeah.
That's and the size of the screen, I feel like you could just get more work
Damn,
done.
I like that. The banking app at Shop Products First want digital tools to make managing debt frictionless. 41% have downloaded a mobile money
Yeah.
management app.
That
Oh,
makes
yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
That makes
Damn,
sense.
That's
damn.
big.
Wait, look at the
Okay,
shaping events
so
and look
I'm
how they're
pretty
ordered.
sure the millennials are winning this so far. They
Yeah,
look
they
like
sound a
they're.
lot smarter.
You know what? They do sound a lot smarter right now.
Wait, TV timeout. Let's look at the shaping events and like
We're all
listen to
biased to shit, though.
listen to the order in which the shaping events go in. It goes Great Recession, explosion of internet and social media, and 9/11. Like you don't think it should go in reverse order?
No, those are
Just maybe like maybe,
Oh my god.
maybe a
You're
little
right.
bit.
Yeah.
Like why? That just struck me as odd.
I mean,
it's just
yeah,
like-
9/11 was
and like
definitely,
by
like,
the way.
it caused, such a shift in like society
And
like,
everything,
Yeah.
bruh, I to this day remember exactly where I was
Yeah.
when I saw that second plane hit.
What were we doing?
I was in was that middle school? Yeah, I was in middle school. It goes elementary, middle school. Yeah. So I was in military. So long ago. I was in middle school and I was walking out of cafeteria and there was a classroom right in front of me that had the TV on and I heard
Yeah.
like the adults panicking. Like kids didn't really know what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
And I'm looking into into the room with the TV on and I watched that motherfucker hit. And
Yeah.
it is fucking seared into my memory.
I remember it,
it's like
yeah.
one of the first times where like I could understand something of that significance just happened in front of my face. I was like, because you can put together like plane, a lot of fucking people, building, a lot of fucking people. What the fuck? Like, that shit.
So think about that and think about like how things are now with social media. Like you're so desensitized
Yeah.
about every single event.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't really want to bring up the Christchurch shooting because that was just insane.
Yeah, it was pretty.
But like,
Yeah, it's nuts.
how do you
Pretty
think
nuts.
you'd feel if you saw something of that magnitude happen again now after being online?
That's a good question, man. I think depending on the severity of it, it would.
Let's say to 9/11 to that extent. Yeah.
I mean, it's.
I think
it's
it would have a
kind
similar
of
impact
bound,
on me.
bound to happen again. I feel like, in a way,
Yeah.
it just has to be some type of evolved attack, I guess, because
Yeah.
flying planes into a building is no longer gonna fly. Nope.
Wow.
Pun intended. Too soon?
Cut
Fucking
it.
too soon?
All right, guys. I gotta
Yeah,
go.
that's
I'm
17 years
sorry.
ago. See, there it is. That's the difference between Gen Y.1 and Gen Y.2.
Nah, I just don't want Trump to put me on the list.
That's a real possibility.
I didn't know that, though. I guess they separate millennials into Gen Y.1 and Y.2.
Oh.
Yeah.
The 25 to 29 is Y.1, and then Y.2 is... Why would Y.2 be the older people? Wouldn't they be the ones?
I don't know, but there is also when I was doing some research, the Pew Center did some polls, and there's also like some pretty significant cultural differences between Y.1 and Y.2, and then also like money as well. Y.2, the older generation, is a little bit more well off with money and stability, where the latter generation, which is quite apparent, is fucking riddled with fucking debt. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little
Yeah, it looks like everybody's got a lot of debt, and the baby boomers and Gen X, and then millennials also debt.
Yeah. But getting back to what
Sorry
you
about all
said,
the coughing. God damn it.
well, getting back to what you said, Christian, though, about how I would feel if something of that magnitude happened today, I'm a little bit impartial just because I don't have social media.
No.
So I'm not constantly inundated
I'm
with
completely desensitized to all of it.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I'm not because I remember when I watched the Alton Sterling thing, right? And that's I got off
yeah.
I got off social media the next day because that shit fucked me up so much. But I had seen other police shootings of innocent people prior to that, but for some reason that one kind of affected me more because of the mitigating circumstances. And I'm saying that it depending on how the situation unfolds is going to dictate, I think, the psychological impact on anyone. if it happens in a certain way, sure, you might be like, just another one of those things. But you get the right type of people attached to it, the right type of narrative, the right type of viewpoint that it's seen from, and I think it could significantly impact you, even if you feel like you've been desensitized.
Yeah, there's obviously
Yeah,
a lot of
for
different,
sure.
reactions that people can have to it, but I think I'm so desensitized. I mean, whether it's obviously it's real things, but the way that media is now, there's not a lot of things they don't show.
Yeah.
Everything's just out there, and I mean, there's been a ton of different attacks live streamed, and
It's
ISIS puts videos out all the time, like of people getting beheaded. Like I've seen things that doesn't,
You could
a
be
shooting.
just scrolling on Twitter.
Exactly, yeah, and
just
crazy
find
shit
a
comes
clip.
up.
Yeah.
I've found that out recently.
Yeah.
But I think that's because you can't. It's hard to extrapolate those back to your own life.
Oh yeah, it's gotta.
difficult.
Yeah, if it hits home somehow and relates to you,
Yeah.
like if some shit happened like in Richmond
Then
tomorrow or
you'd be
something,
like,
it'd be like, what
the
the
impact
yeah,
would be
of
so
course.
much, right? Because when
Yeah.
you're seeing somebody get beheaded by ISIS, I mean, prayers go out to all those families. Like, I feel terrible for them. I don't want that to happen to anybody. But you're sitting there thinking like, dude, I ain't gonna end up in fucking Yemen. Like, I'm good, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
What
Like,
were you doing in Yemen?
like, why were you there?
Just
right?
don't be in Yemen.
Yeah, don't
Damn,
be-
and if you're in Yemen, get out of
Get
Yemen.
the fuck out of Yemen,
Damn.
bro. Like, and you see what I'm saying? So on that front, it's like when you see somebody
Right.
get attacked by a shark, you like, nigga, get out the pool. Like, get out the pool.
you
You
were
see the
tra-
fin, get out the pool.
Why is there a shark in the pool?
Yeah.
I was with you for a
Fucking
second.
around.
I was with you for a second. I was like, he's trespassing in the shark's area, but
But no,
if,
but I was
if the shark's in a pool, he's
Then he's-
trespassing in the human's
fuck
area.
that shark, bro.
Because what? Yeah,
Bitch
what's
ass
going
shark.
on there? Oh shit! I don't know why I thought about this. We went to the
Yeah.
Bahamas a couple years ago, and we went on a slide that it goes straight down and it goes underwater and above you and around you. It's like a clear tube, and there's sharks all
Oh,
throughout
that
it.
is so dope.
Yeah, it is.
yeah.
And,
That is
and you go
so
really
dope.
slow through it, and it's kind of scary. Like I feel like one of those screws could pop out at any time, and the water
yeah,
just
you
come in
would
or whatever. But
Be shark
yeah,
bait, bruh.
it was
That's
pretty
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah, but so yeah, I think if something happens that you can directly say, me, Christian, as whatever you define yourself as, it can happen to me. I think it doesn't matter. I don't think it matters how many beheadings you've seen. You'll be like, oh shit, this is fucked up.
So I think like Andrew was saying, like I've just seen so much on the internet by now. Like I think what I would be most like fearful of or impacted by is the aftermath, especially if Trump is in office.
yeah,
I mean, like we had the Patriot Act passed Bush.
True.
Imagine what Trump
True.
would try to do.
that's
Yeah.
a pretty good analogy.
Oh,
That
yeah. Oh,
that
yeah, you're right,
Patriot Act,
you're right.
I don't it, and we
I didn't
were
even think about that
we
one.
were so afraid. Other than the people who dealt directly with the policy, the general public was like,
It's like we're
oh,
gonna give up our freedom for
oh,
safety.
right?
Yeah.
And I don't
yeah,
even
yeah.
think they saw it like that. They didn't. I don't think they saw the implications of the freedom that they were giving up. They just thought about it in terms of,
Catching the bad guy.
yes, oh, we're gonna catch more bad guys. They didn't.
I think that's
I don't
happened a
think
couple
the trade-off
times
was
in our
truly.
in our past as well. Just in terms of like events that have led to war, but have also led to legislation that have been kind of out of our hands or whatever. There was some cruise ship that was sunk by Germans before World War II that was full of American.
Lusitania.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's just all these different events that have happened, prior to the government changing some type of legislation. So, I mean, hopefully it doesn't take a terrorist attack for them to do something about.
Well, we haven't really figured out the Second Amendment.
Well, yeah, I don't think.
What I don't understand is why people are so afraid of changing something that is old as fuck and was written back in a time when people were idiots mostly. I mean, they didn't have the internet. They didn't know much at all. They only knew what the fuck they were told by other people around them.
Yeah.
They're amendments. You're allowed to change them. You're not allowed to evolve them.
the whole point.
Yeah, they should be an ever-changing, evolving thing with our society. And if funds come around, it's like, all right, well, you can have pistols and these guns, but you can't have fucking rocket launchers and fucking, I don't know, machine guns,
Yeah,
whatever.
you see what New Zealand did? They immediately got rid of it.
What, they banned
They
assault
banned
rifles?
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah, they it wasn't even a question. It's like, oh, this shit can happen. And I mean, Australia is the go-to example of how they don't have
They
any
banned
mass
all
shootings
guns.
anymore
Yeah.
because those type of weapons have been banned. And
Was Australia the place where they did the buyback?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's you want to say like obviously people have guns and you don't want them to have to get rid of them, but at the same time, if that's the only thing that works is that you take away the really harmful ones and that curbs a lot of the behavior, then maybe you do it or try it on a trial buyback basis. I don't know. You know, there's a lot of right wing folks that would not have that. There's no changing a document written by the founding fathers in their eyes.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the way people look at it is, and I certainly the way I tend to look at it sometimes is that when they made these amendments, when they wrote this Constitution, it was the accumulation of a lot of human knowledge and a lot of thinking. So it wasn't like they were these spur of the moment type of things coming into existence. People really did put a lot of time, effort, and thought into these to try to establish something. And what the result of that was what we're in today, which is this great country we live in. So that's why people are so hesitant to then change these documents, considering what they have blossomed in a sense. That without those documents, you don't get what we have today, which is what separates us from other countries, right? Is those founding documents. And that's why people are so fucking hesitant on changing.
Yeah, but those documents themselves were all a collection of ideas that came from all different types of, well, not all different types of people, because only one type of person was really allowed to have an opinion back then. But, you know, all different types of people in that aspect of old white men.
Yeah.
But, you know, they at least obviously tried to make something different from what the status quo was around the world, what they were used to in, what is it, Great Britain, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't see why people think that it's this document that is so sacred it can't be changed when all the ideas that were put into it weren't under one complete idea of like right, left, whatever. It was kind of a collection of everything.
Yeah, I definitely see what you're coming from. When every voice wasn't taken into account, you have every right to say that what would be different if everybody could come to the table and have their input. And I'm certainly not against that. But you also have to consider that even though there was a very select group of people making these decisions, they were still making decisions based on their best interest, which kind of extrapolates to a certain extent to everybody's best interest, because they want to move forward into the future healthily, financially wealthy, and it does not make everybody else move along those same lines, but it pushes us forward into the future, because they don't want to completely obliterate the entire system, because then they lose as well if everybody else is dead and fucked. So to some extent, you have to make everybody win to a certain extent, right? In order for it to move forward in a way that is amicable for everyone, right?
The problem that we have now is the people that are in power and the people that are in charge of making these, legislative amendments, right? They don't want everybody to win. If absolute power corrupts, what's it? Absolutely.
Yeah, right. And I completely believe that. I don't care what color you put in any position of power. I mean, we see it through the African countries, throughout Spanish, Latin American countries. We see it through Asian countries, that it doesn't matter what color person you put at the head of anything. You give them a lot of power, they are gonna fuck over a lot of people. So I completely agree that they're definitely putting their best interests in front of ours. But we still have the power to dictate who we put in those positions. And even if it's momentarily that they're making decisions in our best interest, we then have a time frame where it's like, oh, this is around time when people start getting corrupt, get the fuck out. So we still we're still a democracy. So in a democracy, the power is still within the people. I mean, look at the changes that were made at the last midterm election, putting all these women into office, all these people of different genders and nationalities into office. So if it's just a matter of understanding that the power is within us, and if we act as a unit, I mean,
that's just at the local level, though. I mean, that doesn't necessarily affect change on the national level.
That's where you got to start, though. Yeah. You have to start.
You have to. Yeah, I mean,
you start there, but you're saying you're trying to change the entire. I mean, it all depends on who's kind of in the front office, doesn't it? The head position, more than anything.
I mean, not necessarily, because you can look at Bernie Sanders.
On these huge issues that we're talking about, though. I mean, the Second Amendment for one.
I mean, but
no one on a local level is going to be changing that.
Yeah, maybe not on a local level, but still, I mean, you got to vote in your representatives. I mean, you got to look at what happened with the blue wave. I mean, these are local, people here that are representing your district.
Sure.
So, I mean, and it's not like fringe ideas can't, become mainstream. I mean, look at what Bernie did for Medicare for all. And
look at the gay rights movement.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, I mean, growing up, I can remember a time where if you came out and said you were gay, that was a death sentence.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, you would be ostracized immediately, picked on, beat up every day. It was not a life worth living. Now, man, you can be gay, wear your gay pride stuff anywhere, and it's perfectly fine. And that was something that nobody ever thought could ever change, but it did. And that was because people realized that we have the power to make whatever we want into existence be so just by using our democratic voice. This system is the best system we have figured out thus far. Is it a perfect system? By no stretch of the imagination, but it's the best we got. So rather than blowing the whole thing up, I'm saying, why can't we force the change within it and just make something that's already pretty good just work even better, and just try to perfect what we have? Because if we blow it up, what then are we left with? I don't know too many people with ideas that much better than what we have now.
Well, yeah, but I feel like every person, well, not every, but there's a couple different people on the Democratic side that are running. Well, there's a shit ton of people on that side that are running, but a couple of them have some pretty out there ideas. In terms of,
Andrew Yang.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the universal, what is it, wage income?
Oh, yeah, universal basic income. Well, I know one thing: automation's scary as shit.
That's what I'm thinking about.
Not for our jobs necessarily, but who wants our jobs anyway? Robots don't want those.
Fucking robot would go crazy trying to do my job, bro.
Yeah.
No, I am on UBI day to day. I'm on one side or another. I cannot plant my feet in the ground on this.
$1,000.
I can't plant my feet because, like, while you said, like, absolutely, I am aware that if automation continues on the trend that it's currently on, there are going to be millions of people, primarily men, out of work. And if you look across the globe, anytime there's a large contingent of men who want to work but can't, shit turns into chaos. And that is dangerous. So I'm like, okay, is just
like on The Wire.
Right. Like, but is just handing them $1,000 gonna alleviate that?
Where does I'm trying to find it now. Where did he say the universal basic income money was coming from? I know the government's paying it, but where was it coming from?
I think it's business taxes, like taxing corporations.
Oh shit! It's on his website. Hold on.
Yeah. Oh man, there's
saying?
this crazy thing about Andrew Yang. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with 4chan or 8chan.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. All right.
Yep. See, this is why we had you on.
Okay.
Because we wouldn't know this. Whatever you're about to say.
Okay. So if you look on, I don't go on the sites, but I do follow the subreddit on Reddit just because it's like watching a zoo, a circus.
I've
you know?
heard.
It's crazy.
In a lot of the 8chan folks, which is like the more unhinged, racist, like truly Nazi pedophile part version of 4chan, which is already bad enough.
Yeah.
Sounds like some interesting characters over there.
Very much, but they're very, very hyped up on Andrew Yang because of the universal basic income.
Really?
Because all they
don't
want to do is sit in their basements or whatever, or sit at home and just post all day on 4chan and 8chan and get paid.
Okay, wait.
That's my thing.
But
that's where I think about it.
If we're heading for eventually a fucking VR type world where, what was that fucking movie?
Ready Player One.
Yeah, where you can just be in this shit forever. And I'm not saying that's gonna happen, but eventually, we're gonna have some type of VR that you can be in all day. There's gonna be people. There's gonna be people. I know there might be all three of us who love video games. Yeah, exactly.
Put me in the Wild West.
Yeah,
man.
give me a cowboy hat.
We might be in the VR right now.
Oh no, yeah, we're in the simulation. You're right.
We are.
This is the VR.
It might be.
Damn, I'm about to do some wild shit now.
But I'm saying, if you're in that all the time, you're gonna have a ton of people, like you're saying, that are gonna want to just do that all the time. So that the universal basic income is definitely going to help people like that, and they're not gonna get necessarily any better or provide, anything, but they will be contributing money back to society by spending their money on, goods and services that then hopefully provide jobs to people that used to be truckers.
I want these people to become productive and well-adjusted rather than sitting at home and getting their views validated by other people with disgusting views.
That's my thing.
I think the technology's got to go away if any of that is going to happen.
Yeah, you got Ted Kaczynski style here.
I don't want it to. I'm just saying that it's if it's gonna be there, people are gonna use it. It's not gonna. You can have rehab facilities and ways to limit it all you want, but people are gonna be trolling to troll all the time. It's just fun for them because they don't. There's no consequences whatsoever for it. Nothing.
Here's my thing. A lot of people get meaning out of work, right? It's very important. A lot of people live. For us, we spend we see our coworkers more than we see the people that we love and that our family, but still, regardless, the act of putting your best foot forward, striving to accomplish a certain goal, it brings meaning to your life. And when you remove that from people, I wonder what the residue of that is. So that's the part that worries me, when you're giving people a padding to, if they just don't want to do anything, they just don't have to do anything. And then the second part of that too is, like, what are the incentives that we're going to align getting that money with? Because that also worries me a lot, given we already have some type of example of that in the welfare state, right? And you give people the wrong incentives, you can disseminate an entire people. And it's not like necessarily that people had the worst of intentions in giving black people welfare, but it absolutely destroyed the black family. Where I'm sure they were like, oh, we fucked up, let me give you guys a way to make money and like get a foot up. But it did the opposite of what they expected. So that's what I would also be very, very concerned of. How
that wasn't necessarily that wasn't cash though, right? It wasn't money.
It wasn't money directly. It was
sometimes.
Yes, it is. Well, in a way, it is.
But you can only buy certain things. Use it for certain things.
True.
I think his whole point behind it was that giving the money to those people, whether they're working or not, is going to create jobs for those people or other people like them. Because they're going to have more money to spend, therefore there's going to be a need for more employees in order to sell the products that these people are going to buy. And hopefully the fucking truck drivers get a goddamn job.
Oh man, yeah.
I mean,
that's what the whole thing's about, I guess, is the fucking truck drivers. My cousin's one actually, and I didn't even realize that his job is going to be gone in 10 years.
My one of my best friend's dad, he was a truck driver. I don't know if he still does it or not, but all I know is that he pretty much just saved up a bunch of money, just working crazy hours as a truck driver, and just bought like a hotel. He's starting a hotel business in Honduras, on a beachfront property. Yeah. And I mean, I'm assuming he's a smart man to do that already, and he probably sees like the end of trucking, as an industry.
Oh,
not
probably
an industry,
so.
but as a job.
Dude, Amazon is already testing driverless trucks on roads, and there's a driver in the truck, but he's just there
like an
to
operator.
take corrective actions. But the trucks are driving themselves.
I think a trucker could figure something like that out.
They had that in Logan.
Yeah.
In the Wolverine movie.
Damn, I would not mind doing that job, honestly, just riding around.
No, but
eventually that's going to go away too.
They're doing it right now just because the technology is not perfect.
Isn't it
as soon as they perfect the technology,
99% or something?
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh shit, 1% is not that, you can't have it be that high. Yeah. That's really high for errors.
Yeah.
But what's the statistic on human drivers and accidents, or truck drivers and accidents that they cause?
I imagine it's way higher.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't know in comparison, but eventually the trucks will be so accurate that they'll be way more accurate than humans and won't be wrecking. Plus, if they do, no humans die, so it's still a win-win.
If they hit somebody.
Well, yeah. But
I think the problem with that, even like if they get it to a certain point where maybe like 1 out of a million, like rides they hit somebody or something, like for some reason it just feels a lot worse if a robot or something or an automated truck
You pull it a little
hit
closer.
somebody.
And
It's
and
just
it-
not
Or,
as loud.
yeah, and like
There you go.
there's no one to blame, except
There
for
you
the
go.
company, and the company never has a face,
Yep.
So
it's and I don't know why it is where say 5 truck drivers were driving and 3 of them hit and killed somebody, we would not, as you said, we would not look at it in the same regard as if 100 million automated truckers were driving and one of those hit and killed somebody.
Uber was testing their like automated like self-driving
And it hit-
cars,
and
and
killed
hit
somebody.
somebody in California, and they're
Yeah.
like, you know what, we're not testing California anymore, or not testing at all, or something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
I was gonna say, is that what all they said was like, "Fuck, we hit somebody in California, we gotta start testing somewhere else."
Honestly, I wouldn't put it past
Yeah,
them.
fuck. All right, no more California.
All right, Wyoming, here we come. No one gives a shit.
Hitting fucking
nobody here.
bears
There's
out
nobody
there.
there.
There's
Yeah,
nobody
yeah.
there.
If you hit a bear, fuck it, whatever. Just skin it.
Yeah, dude. I don't. I'm concerned about it, but I want to hear more economic policy behind UBI before I get behind it either way.
Dude,
because
there's
I'm
so
hearing
many
a lot
people
of
on
good.
that side though. Like who's if UBI works, obviously I mean, if it works as a idea in terms of people get behind it, he may be the one that ends up, getting the nomination. But there's
I don't know
16
about
other
that.
people on that fucking side,
Yeah.
so it's not even really a case of that it's gonna end up being him. So
Yeah.
I mean, Bernie Sanders might have a good shot. Fucking Joe
Bernie.
Biden might have a good shot.
What do you guys think about Beto? Comes in at the end.
Didn't know who he was, and he has a weird name.
You didn't know about Beto O'Rourke during the Ted Cruz, and
Nah, what happened?
the elections?
What happened with that?
Everybody was rallying around Beto O'Rourke. Like, I'm pretty sure he got the
Wait, did he run last time?
No,
Oh,
no.
okay.
He was like a representative before. I'm pretty
Oh,
sure.
gotcha.
But he broke the record, I believe, for largest amount of small donor donations.
Yeah, I did hear about him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, he still lost
Yeah.
to Ted. But like, I think he should chill in Texas. Maybe try to go after Ted again. We probably need you there more than we need you as running for president.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great exposure, but like, I feel with Beto O'Rourke's voting record, he's a moderate.
Yeah.
Like from what I've been like reading, and
Yeah.
I can't rattle them that
Yeah.
off right now, honestly. But anyways,
Yeah.
but a lot of the stuff he's coming out with now, it's like he's pretty much just taking ideas from, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez
Yeah.
or Bernie or like
Yeah.
what the progressive left is saying.
Yeah.
So it almost seems it's like, I'm going to go in here, just raise a bunch of money and get some exposure out
Yeah.
and, see what
Well,
happens.
yeah, I mean,
It forces you to compromise on your
But it
views.
sucks because, like, that's taken attention away from the more serious candidates who actually
Yeah.
have potential to
it seems like
honestly try
a
it.
couple of them may be doing that though, but that could be because they don't think they have a shot with Trump being on the other side anyway.
Yeah.
Cory
know.
Booker might have a decent chance as well.
Did you know he was dating Rosario Dawson?
Oh, I just saw that actually.
Yeah.
Oh,
Does that make
my God.
you like a more?
Bruh,
There's
yes.
Yeah.
I had the biggest crush on her
Was
for
she?
the minute, bro.
Is it?
She's so
Was she
hot.
dating?
pretty much.
What's that crazy dude that has his own show with Hannibal Buress?
Eric Andre?
Yeah, wasn't she with Eric Andre?
Get the fuck
Wow,
out of
she
here.
has a pretty eclectic taste.
Hold up.
Eric Andre rules,
Hold on.
for sure.
I was gonna say she's
Kamal-
all over the map.
Kamala Harris was dating some, I don't know if it was a rapper or it was a basketball player, some athlete, when she was in college. I saw some
Really?
pictures with her and him, and the guy, I can't remember who it was.
Well, for somebody like that's popular,
Yeah, like a celebrity or something. Like
Wait, who did you say he was dating?
Rosario Dawson.
Eric Andre.
Oh, Cory Booker.
Cory Booker was dating Rosario.
Yeah,
Rosario
that's who
Dawson.
Eric Andre. They broke up, I guess, or whatever, a long time
Damn.
ago.
That is
But yeah,
so-
they were dating. I remember seeing that. Yeah.
Eric Andre is funny.
He is so funny.
He
He's
is
hilarious,
crazy
but
as shit
Dude,
that is
on his
two
show.
different
It's one of my
ends of the
favorite shows.
spectrum.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah, but Cory Booker is kind of weird, and
He
I'm
is.
only saying this based off of like all these old tweets that this guy from this other podcast to listen to. Yeah, but still, shout out to them. Pretty much, he undigged these old tweets of Cory Booker's Twitter account, right?
Okay.
And he had these like, can't remember. He said, there's he made code words for two women, right? One was coffee, and one was I don't know, like Frappuccino or something. No lie, it was something like that. And he was like pretty much giving like a detailed like play by play of his current like relationship status. Like, just broke up with coffee, now I'm going to Frappuccino. No lie.
Well, on his Twitter. Or
On his
something?
Twitter, it has another one where he took a selfie with Fat Joe, and he's like, "Hey, it's me on Fat Joe," and then he put parentheses, "I'm on the right."
What is wrong with him, bro?
I don't know, but I like just based off
So
of that, I'm like, dude, this guy's
no for
hilarious.
president?
This guy's hilarious, like unintentionally hilarious. Like I could see somebody doing that for irony on Twitter now, but like he was doing this in like '09.
Yeah,
he was serious.
Yeah, I see. My only issue about what with the Democratic Party, unfortunately, I think that almost unless somebody goes the opposite direction of identity politics, I think that's the only chance they have to win. If the Democratic Party does not say, we're not going to go further left, but we're going to come more middle so we can win over the people who voted for Trump, if they do not do that, I believe they will lose again.
But you also got to think about how energized like the youth is for the progressive left. I mean, who's more important? I mean, that's pretty much like the Democrats got to figure out who do they need to bank on. The centrists, right?
Yeah.
Who voted for Trump last time and maybe have voted for Barack Obama.
Oh yeah,
because
there's
or the youth.
4 more years of people that will be able to vote this next time.
Yeah, but historically, young people do not turn out.
What are the statistics for this last election for the midterm? Can you pull that up?
You got it.
Like the increase of youth.
They increased, but it was not promising. It was not an increase to say, 70% of people under the age of whatever came out to vote. It was still. It wasn't.
I mean,
it wasn't astonishing.
But I will say though, they did make some substantial change, especially in the House.
They did.
They unseated a lot of people in this next election. I mean, I can't remember what the number is of how many Republicans are.
It said the Atlantic said it surged by 188% in early voting compared with 2014.
Oh wow!
Only 188. Damn.
What are
That's not a lot.
You didn't think it was?
I was joking. I was
okay.
Voters. So preliminary results from ABC exit polls suggest that voters ages 18 to 29 will make up 13% of the overall electorate in this year's midterms, up from 11% in 2014. I told you, it's very underwhelming.
But then, what's the statistic of like those like centrists, right? Like those moderates who could go either way. But how do you even measure that too?
I honestly, I have no idea. But it's my opinion that, you see, based on those votes, 11%
Oh, there you
to
go.
13%.
There's your boy, Beto.
That's not my boy.
Oh, not your boy.
Was my boy.
It said young voters have rallied behind Democratic Senate candidate fivefold for voters ages 18 to 29.
In Texas when he was running.
So and to put the statistic you said earlier into context, it says while early voting across every age group increased compared with the 2014 midterms, the surge is most pronounced among voters ages 18 through 29. More than 3.3 million voters from that group cast their votes early. So that was in regards to early voting. Not to voting in general.
No.
Yeah.
Still, that's a pretty significant number compared to what people 18 through 29-year-olds were doing.
Well, if they just made it available to vote on your fucking phone or mobile device, or somehow you're able to vote I mean, with the technology we have, how is it not possible now to vote on your shit? J. Cole said it in one of his fucking songs, something like, how am I not able to see, like, vote on my phone? How am I not able to see where my taxes go? Like, pick where my taxes go at this point. Yeah. Like, with all the technology we have, how are we not able to just have a secure portal where people log in, verify their identity, and put in their vote?
But that's the government, though. Imagine how slow they were on everything else and how
that's got to be a lot less easy to hack than a fucking old ass machine.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Well, they're also paper based too.
What do you think that bureaucracy is there for? Because at this point, I think we would all have to agree that it looks somewhat intentional, right? So you would assume the bureaucracy of why they make things such as voting such an arc.
I don't know, man. I just think the government's behind as fuck. They're just so far behind.
It's such an arcane way of doing something, but I would assume that they have I would assume that they have a reason to making it so slow and arduous to do this. Because like you said, the technology to do this is so much easier now for them to do it, for them to not do it seems almost purposeful. But then you'd also have to figure out, there's so many levels to it that I think we are not appreciating.
I mean, but
that
think about
play into
it.
it.
But think about it when we were, in that certain industry, right? The type of people that we worked with, typically the people who were the decision makers were older, close to retirement, and they weren't exactly pushing for change. They just wanted to, get on with their day.
Yeah, they're not motivated.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, I feel like with this coming generation, I feel like that's when we'll finally see some substantial change when it comes to technology and the government. And man, this is a really random topic compared to where we've just
we started.
Yeah, you can run to the bathroom whenever you need to.
I think this will be a good opportunity to get back to the topic we were.
Yeah, sure. I don't even know what we were talking about.
We were supposed to be talking about the differences between millennials and Gen Zs.
We stopped on Gen Z here. Yeah, it looks like I guess that's right after Christian's age, obviously, 95 to 2015. 25% of the population. What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's huge.
The largest generation ever.
41% spend at least 3 hours a day online, mostly via mobile. Banking habits, only mobile, of course. They don't even know what a fucking computer is, I don't think.
I'd be surprised.
Having Gen X as parents is the shaping event. Interesting. So seems like Christian fits more in this. Like, he's right on the edge.
So having Gen X as parents, born to a country never not at war, and financial crisis of 2008.
Born to a country never not at war.
Yeah.
That's actually true. We've been in wars constantly.
2011. And they were, That's
no,
crazy.
I mean, even before that, we were in wars.
Oh, yeah.
And financial crisis of 2008, internet availability at a young age. Yeah, they got phones way early. They got internet way early. They got desensitized way fucking early.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I'm desensitized now, and I'm in my 30s. That's fine, but I didn't. When I was younger, I was like happy-go-lucky, like, oh, the world's still a happy fucking place sometimes, and then you get punched in the fucking face. But you didn't see people's heads getting chopped off on TV and shit.
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah.
That's way different. I had Doom and Duke Nukem. You remember that game?
I do remember Duke Nukem.
You could shoot a stripper and money would pop out. It's so dumb. I have that game for 64 actually.
Yeah. Oh man, I miss 64.
That's a millennial thing.
Millennial thing right there, dude.
Oh, what's the financial horizon for Gen Z? That's learning about personal finances and the avoidance of debt. Because I feel like, no offense, I feel like the generations after us are actually worse with money than we are. Because jobs seem to be a little harder to come by in terms of you have to have more qualifications now to get a job than you did before. I feel like it's a high school degree means nothing.
No.
A college degree
means jack shit.
Means almost nothing.
Yes.
Excuse me. A associate's degree, nothing. That's a high school diploma.
Yeah.
A bachelor's degree, pretty much nothing still.
Yeah.
It just means you went to college and can follow directions.
Yeah.
If you don't have a master's, you don't have something
a
above
PhD or something.
I don't know. You're getting a little out of hand now.
No. I'm saying if you do,
I know.
If you don't have it,
but PhD, like a master's, is like one extra year of school. Like a PhD is
a lot.
You are a scientist in your fucking brain. I just found out one of my friends from home listens to the podcast. Shout out to Lee. He's a scientist. If he listens to this episode, I always think of you know that part in Half Baked. He's like, "Hey janitor." He's like, "Yes, scientist." They just like call each other by their fucking titles. Either somebody forgot to do their shirt laundry, or somebody's having a party.
What an underrated movie, man.
What? I don't think it's underrated. Everybody loves that fucking movie.
Well, to our group, but you don't hear somebody who's like 50 like, oh, fucking Half Baked.
Well, no, I don't think so. Although Dave Chappelle is fucking 50, and
I know.
Yeah, so there you go.
Fucking nuts.
You know what's weird? I don't know. Sorry, this thing is fucking going crazy right now. Did you guys see random? Did you guys see A Star Is Born?
No.
Nah, that's it. I heard
Fucking
it's really
Dave Chappelle.
good.
Yeah, it is. Dave
Dave
Chappelle's in that.
Chappelle's in it?
Random as
Doing what?
fuck.
What?
He's
Doing
like
what?
really good friends with Bradley Cooper. All of a
Oh,
sudden.
yes. I gotta see it now.
What? Yeah.
I'm sold.
I
No.
could have assured you up until this moment that under no circumstances would I have ever
Same.
watched A Star Is Born.
Same.
Look,
Same.
completely changed. Complete
Yeah.
180. Complete
Oh my god!
180,
And they're
bro.
doing like an encore like showing at movie theaters now. They're like after
Really?
the awards.
The
they start
only,
showing
I mean,
again.
really
Yeah.
good movie. The reason you would see it is because one, it's about addiction, which is the biggest fucking killer in our society right now.
Yeah.
But also because Bradley Cooper spent 18 months learning to fucking sing and play an instrument, and literally is a professional
Damn.
musician now because he was in a
Wow.
movie.
Good for him.
It was just
Wow.
like, what? What? I don't.
Wow.
You're watching the movie, like he's doing all this.
You know what?
He just
You
learned
know
it.
what I think happened? I
He
think
just has discipline
Nah.
as a human,
Yeah.
and he
Nah.
can do stuff
I
like
think
that.
I think the Limitless movie was a real thing.
Yeah.
It was
Ever since
happening.
Limitless, he's just been going.
He's just been
Yeah.
off the
He's had
charts.
that pill ever since.
Dude.
I think
Damn
they
it.
were showing
This
us live
fucker.
on screen.
I need to watch
this
that
shit
movie
exists.
again.
I love that
I'm
movie,
gonna
man.
do the same thing though. I think I'm just gonna podcast until I become like a professional podcaster. You know,
Dude,
I'm a podcast for 18 months, and I'm just gonna podcast all the time.
Bruh,
I think that's all we have. We got
It's-
what, like we got like 12 months left, so we're
bruh,
good to go.
Look,
12 months left. What's going on?
wait, have we been doing
Well,
it?
you said 18 months, so I mean, I feel like we've been doing it
doing it for
about
a minute.
6.
No, I'm talking about me. I'm gonna be a professional.
Dude, like low key, podcasting is not that easy. You would think
this,
it is.
This setup does not look easy.
and I mean, even the act of having your thoughts put together in a well organized manner to articulate to people that they understand exactly where you're coming from is actually quite difficult.
I'd like to play the first episode over, like, out sometime.
Which
when,
one?
When we're just the one we never put out.
Oh, God,
I
no.
love the very beginning.
Oh,
It's
man.
just terrible.
That's like a common thing. Every podcast I listen to, I swear to God, they always say, "Yeah, I remember we did record the first episode, and then we just didn't put it out, so we just redid it."
I don't think we put out the first 3.
I'm not even sure we've re-talked about any of those topics
No.
because I've tried to listen to it, and it's
so bad.
cringeworthy. That
I mean, we're not.
so
I mean,
bad.
we're not even on these topics. Like, I mean, it's cool. Like, we
No,
don't have
no.
to stick to it.
No, yeah, I mean we
Yeah.
jump around a lot. I mean
Yeah.
sometimes it all depends. Like we had one about conspiracy theories and weed,
Ooh.
where I mean we
Which one was that?
That was only like 2 episodes
10,
ago or something.
10
Yeah,
episodes, I don't think.
but we stuck to the topic on that. But like when Terrence was on, we just like to talk about different things that just end up coming up. So I mean, we started it just to talk about shit. I mean,
Yeah,
that's really
yeah.
all it's about. So
Yeah. So
'cause-
when I listened to the Terrence one, I was like, man, I'm intimidated now. I got no good takes.
See,
I stopped listening to the new. I stopped, paying
yeah, but
attention.
I think
man.
you might get like nervous thinking that it's going to be recorded
Well,
and put out there.
that
But
was
then
the
when
thing.
you're in the moment, you're just
Yeah,
talking to
yeah,
people that you
for
know.
sure.
It's not a.
Also, that was like
Just
the
the
first
thing.
one I listened to. I was like, damn, like they're serious. They're so serious.
I definitely spent a lot of time thinking about certain things, and I think we can get into a little bit back to our topic in terms of, I think that's where a difference is between, even though we're still millennials, I think that's the difference between the lower end and the higher end, is that we spend a little bit more of our time, not that you don't, but I think we spend a
I
little
don't.
bit.
Whatever you're about to say, I probably don't.
No, I mean, we spend just a little bit more time diving into these subjects and reading like articles and
Oh
fucking
no,
short-
we do. Yeah, I do all that. Yeah, Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure. But I think even in our daily life, our conversations tend to revolve around that more so than maybe you guys. Am I wrong, or right or wrong about that?
I would agree, just because of the way that we grew up and how we ingest media. Everything is bite sized. So, not saying every conversation you have with somebody is small and bite sized,
Of course.
but I mean, if there is a certain topic and it's pretty serious, I'm more than likely gonna go on Vox and read the summary. And it's nice, short. You can get the 3-minute video on YouTube. I'm like, that's all I need to know to argue with my friends, even though I don't know all
There
the
you go.
facts.
There you go.
But yeah, I mean,
See, I can't do that.
I mean, that's because there's just so much now. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you're overwhelmed. But if there's topics that you're passionate about, like for me, immigration is obviously a hot topic. And I'm gonna dive into that. I mean, I'm gonna look at bills. I'm gonna go hard just trying to understand it. But like, if we're talking about like Medicare for all, like, I mean, yeah, sure, like it sounds great. Yeah, let's do it. Whatever.
Yeah. So, do you think that, do you find that your attention span has dwindled the longer you have had and been on, social media and had a phone, do you see a stark contrast between when you were younger and now?
So wait. What age did you get a phone?
Whatever 7th grade is.
Holy shit!
Fuck! I didn't think he was gonna say that early.
Oh,
God damn,
man.
that's
Yeah,
early as shit.
I had the
Wait.
Motorola Razor, and you could make beats
on.
on it, so I was making my own ringtones. I'm like, damn, this is gonna be me, ma.
Uh,
Listen to this, what I just made on my phone.
Chris is like, I'm taking us to the top.
No lie, no bullshit. No bullshit. I had this little beat maker thing on the Motorola Razor. It was a stupid little app, right? And then I'm like, you know what, man, I could get pretty serious about that. And we had the family computer, right? And I downloaded FL Studio demo version. And I was just making these trash in Audacity. I was making these trash.
Hey, that's what we
beats.
record on.
All right, no, shout out to Audacity though. It's pretty easy.
Yeah, it's easy as shit.
Yeah. The thing is, like, I still have some of those beats on my iTunes, and they pop up on my phone every now and then.
Do you listen to them?
Yeah, they're fucking garbage.
That's
I mean, they're like the
listen to.
worst drum loops ever.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
what was I doing, man? Just give up.
That's
Just give up.
That's crazy because when I got that Motorola
So you were
Razor,
like 12,
I was
13?
I think 13 is
13?
how old you are.
Okay.
when I had that Motorola Razor, I was in college, bruh.
Damn.
That thing came out a bunch though. I think they just put it out again.
They are going to, or they already
Yeah,
did.
yeah, they keep putting that thing out because it's a sweet ass phone.
I think I
Yeah.
might buy it.
I mean, even if someone offered me a Razor right now, I might
think I'd
take that
take it.
over my
I think I'd
regular.
take
Yeah,
it.
like I don't
The
need
Razor
internet
was my
access.
shit.
Fuck that shit. Let me just flip it open,
Yeah.
flip it close.
I can't.
Flip it open, flip it close.
I can't, man. I need the memes. I need the memes.
Oh, need
the
I need
memes.
content. I need the
Okay,
posts.
that's
I
another
need the music.
difference. Well, I just think Twitter almost passed, not necessarily passed my generation by, but obviously same generation, we're talking about that, but you kind of fit into the Gen Zer era as well a little bit, just in terms of the facts that they
yeah.
put up here.
Yeah.
Having Gen X as parents, born
sure.
in a country never not at war, which I never thought about. That's kind of fucking nuts.
yeah.
That's a little
That is
wild.
weird.
Mhm.
We just been going and taking shit from people is what that means for years. But
Oh,
I mean, it's just I feel like your generation has embraced Twitter a lot more. My brother as well, who's a little younger than you, Ray, and closer to your age, but.
Sounds like a cool dude.
Yeah, right. But I mean, you all have embraced Twitter a lot, and that's your that would be your choice social media, I would guess.
Yeah, if I had to give up everything,
it would be
and
Twitter.
keep one,
Yeah.
I would keep Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's never been. I've tried with the podcast to get into it, but it seems like it's stuck with the younger generation a little more, and it's just the typical way of communicating through either memes or just sharing articles or videos. I mean, you can pretty much do anything on that you can do on any other platform now. So
it just depends on like who you follow too. I mean, it doesn't have to be all like just bullshit like meme accounts. I mean, if you
of
want to follow,
if
you want to follow a bunch of newspapers or whatever or scientists,
of course,
then I mean, I guess you can have a better.
It's very intuitive, just in terms of you follow one person and then there's a shit ton of suggestions around. Oh, if you follow this scientist, then there's 12 other scientists that you don't know you should follow. But yeah, it's
But also, you can end up in one of those pitfalls like boomers do with Facebook, where you're only following a certain kind of.
I was just
pundit or newspaper
Joe Rogan had the Twitter debate, the second round of it, and I'm just getting through it. Jack Dorsey, and then I think the head of Twitter's
policy.
Policy, just in terms around banning people and stuff. And then Tim Pool, the journalist, so he had all three of them on debating. It got pretty intense, actually.
I mean, Jack Dorsey,
it's way better. The one that Rogan did with just Jack Dorsey is one of the most boring podcasts I've ever fucking heard.
Ever in my life.
I didn't even know, like, he later on was going to say, it was one of my most boring. I was listening to it, and I just had to because of how high up this man is in a huge company.
Yeah.
But it was just a struggle to get through that shit. It's so annoying.
Even his one on Sam Harris was fucking
that one wasn't good
rough,
either,
bro.
Well, this one, I mean, they got into it because Tim Pool fucking just goes right at him, and the woman that's the head of policy is very intense as well. Like she doesn't take any shit, and Jack Dorsey is, he's very monotone.
So what were the takes? I mean, because from what I understand, like Jack Dorsey is like I won't say far right, but he is like very right, and a lot
very
of
right.
Yeah, that's like at least what I've read, right?
No, I mean, it seems like he's more like
He sounded
left
very liberal to me.
and almost like
Maybe libertarian. Then is what I'm thinking.
how Tim Pool, the journalist, was putting it is that most of the Silicon Valley companies pretty much all lean left, almost every one of them, because they all come from kind of the same area. You know, it's that geographic region is pretty much.
Well, the reason I say
liberal.
that is because a lot of the accounts that do get banned tend to be like left-leaning accounts, whereas you'll have Nazis on Twitter. At least, I mean, I didn't listen to the podcast, but that's what I've just seen.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of right-leaning people get. Oh, well, it's probably. I don't know if it's.
I guess it just like I said earlier.
What
I guess
they
it's the
said
type
was
of feed
more
you-
right people,
yeah.
right?
More people on the right.
If
get
you think
banned.
like Alex Jones or
Yeah.
fucking, I don't even know what those are.
And even
people
even
that
if
were
you're
talking.
on the left and
Oh,
you're
Milo,
espousing ideologies that are more aligned with the right, you are more susceptible to get banned than if you're espousing ideologies that are more aligned with the left.
But I thought she explained it well. So I mean, the whole
Yeah,
issue
listen to it.
for
Yeah.
people listening that don't know, there's basically on Twitter people get banned for things that are deemed unacceptable, but they're deemed unacceptable by Twitter. So no one really knows why they're banned. It's just kind of said, okay, this was bad, so you're banned, or this wasn't bad enough, so you're not banned. But they've been banning a lot of people for different comments, and this whole debate on the other podcast we're talking about was on Joe Rogan's podcast was just about why these people are getting banned, what they're going to do to change these policies. And the both the people from Twitter did a good job of explaining, you know, we gave these people multiple chances. You know, here's their first, second, third strike. These are all written in our terms of service. You can follow it or not. You know, we're a private company or a public company. It doesn't matter, you know, if you follow it or not, but we're going to, you know, penalize you if you don't follow it. So it just, I mean, it made sense to me what they said. But at the same time, the journalist Tim Pool did not let a lot of that go.
What
Yeah.
was Joe Rogan saying in the middle of this?
Not
Like, I'm about
a
to say,
fucking
like, I
thing.
could not hear him.
He was not saying
He's
shit.
not a smart guy.
He was like
he's
he
pretty
was
fucking
he
smart.
was kind of just being that mediator, you know.
Yeah,
and he'd
yeah,
come
yeah.
in at certain times and ask pertinent questions because basically the first time that he had Jack Dorsey on, he didn't ask the right questions.
Yeah.
So I mean, I haven't finished it all, but it's a good take on why these people are getting banned. But I had this kind of argument with my friends the other day. You know what? Let me pull this up. I thought it was funny because I told my friends I was listening to the Alex Jones Joe Rogan podcast.
I was listening to some bits of that.
And
it
so-
took me a week.
All right, so
It was tough.
It's very tough because he yells a lot,
Yeah.
and it's also 5 fucking hours long.
Yeah.
But all right, so Alex Jones, conspiracy theorist, I guess you could call him. He has his InfoWars show, and he loves talking about crazy shit. And he obviously said some disparaging things about not Columbine.
Sandy Hook.
What? Damn, that was way back.
The families. Of
That's the
Sandy
first
Hook.
one.
Way back.
Columbine. Sandy
Sandy
Hook.
Hook.
Yeah. So Sandy Hook families. And on Rogan's episode, he talked about that he, you know, apologized for that. He was going off bad information, all that different stuff. So I'm talking to my friends about this in a group chat, just saying like, okay, well, why, you know, you guys should listen to this. It's about conspiracy theories. It's kind of crazy. And they're like, no, I fucking hate that guy. He said shit about Sandy Hook. Why would I listen to him? And I'm like, well, he apologized for it. And he's also, he got kicked off Twitter
Yeah, he did.
for,
YouTube too.
yeah, he got kicked off every
Facebook.
single platform.
Yeah.
And it's kind of scary because I don't care what the man's fucking saying. He should have the ability to say it somewhere in some capacity, I would think. I mean, who cares? I mean, some people are listening, some people are not, but you should be able to have some type of voice in the community.
I think if your voice is causing people to do harm to others,
Because
then
you're talking about the
I'm-
people that went to like the Sandy Hook people's houses.
yeah.
He talked about that on the podcast as well.
And I mean the Christchurch shooter, he was on 8chan, and that's another area where Alex Jones, I'm sure, is loved because of his
Wait, 8chan?
8chan was one of those like sites I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, but he basically the whole thing with this conversation with my friends, they were saying he, you know, doesn't respect people and he doesn't believe things that are true, but he's proven time and time again there's tons of things that there's tons of conspiracies that actually happen. Conspiracies is a word that means a secret plan someone's devised to do something unlawful or something bad against a group of people. So those are things that definitely happen. Now, conspiracy theories, those are things that are not true. Those are things that people kind of make up in order to explain different events that happen, like chemtrails or the moon landing or something like that. But it's just odd that people have such a thing against him when everyone says, yeah, free speech, we should be able to say what we want. But just because this man said a few things and folks went out and did a few things, they banned him from all these channels.
He's like a repeating offender, though. So like back to Jack Dorsey's
I get what you're saying.
Then absolutely, he should be banned.
Yeah, and maybe he should be banned for a time, but I don't think there should be like a life. You fuck up your forever.
If you look
you're
on
gone.
Infowars, has he changed any of his rhetoric?
Yeah, he has.
Has he?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, he has.
I'm not here to defend Alex Jones, but I will say I do sometimes go before I used to watch like his YouTube clips because that man is hilarious.
Yeah, it's crazy. It almost looks like he's going to explode at certain times.
I mean, I
he's
take
funny.
During the Rogan podcast, Rogan was just laughing at him the whole time.
It was so funny. It was so funny.
I just don't get the point. I don't understand the non-redemptive aspect of it.
How can you not redeem yourself?
Actually, you know what though? I respectfully change my position because I think that sometimes you should be able to redeem yourself, and I think cancel culture is bullshit.
I think crazy. I think all the time you should be. I don't care what, short of molesting kids and raping women. Anything other than that, you should be able to come back from.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, and also, you mentioned the folks that maybe were harassing Sandy Hook parents at their homes because Alex Jones. I don't know exactly what the thing was. Did he say that?
He said that it was what do they call it? A false flag operation.
Yeah. Okay, so he said that, but these people, they obviously have issues of their own, and they are individuals, and they are kind of responsible. I mean, in my eyes, they're responsible for their own actions. He has a voice, but at the same time,
you can't control what
everything he says is so fucking out there. You should know that most of it's untrue. That's his character almost that he plays. That's the person that he is to make money. So I don't give a fuck about the guy, but it bothers me that we can be so quick to cancel someone, like you're saying, the cancel culture.
Yeah. The only thing though, like I would generally agree with those that opinion right there. But I mean, you look at somebody like Trump. I mean, couldn't you argue that he sort of does the same thing because he constantly lies on Twitter, and a lot of the people that
exactly. You're right. Yeah, I mean, he could be basically a lot of things he does are bannable offenses almost, just insulting people or saying things that are untrue.
Twitter did change their policy about banning people. They said unless something is newsworthy or something like that, that they will make an exception. So Trump obviously,
just by how free speech you can't ban the president. It doesn't matter what he says. You can't ban him because he is the leader of the free world, and everybody has the right to hear what he has to say.
Though. Twitter's a private company. I mean, they're not a It's not a government program.
Yeah, that's whatever
the president chooses to use, it could be our podcast. It has to be accessible to the world because of the office that he holds.
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah, no. I mean, that's a
I'm not letting Trump on here. If he wants our podcast, he can
Trump,
have it.
No, Trump, come on the podcast.
I'm not advocating Trump being on the podcast. I'm just saying whatever avenue that the leader of the free world decides to use to say whatever he wants, it has to be available to the public because he is the president.
I saw on the last week tonight, I think, that there's other world leaders now that are starting to use Twitter as their go-to communicating tool with their countries because of Trump. It's like, God damn.
I think
I
think it's pretty funny when you see political figures or political parties or anything like that, real serious people use Twitter. I remember I saw a tweet a couple of days ago. It was the Israeli Defense Force or whatever, and they tweeted out, "Stay tuned." I mean, I don't know if I have the words exactly. Stay tuned. We're about to unveil one of the we call it one of the biggest threats to Israel or somebody, and someone quote tweeted it, it's Pikachu because they had like the silhouette of the guy like all black and the question marks like remember you ever watch Pokemon?
Of course,
Yeah.
gotta
Like
catch 'em all.
who's this Pokemon? And someone quotes tweeted it's Pikachu and like 300K like likes and like retweets like I think it's so funny when like those accounts get owned.
That's where most people. I mean, I understand why world leaders use it because we've demonstrated time and time again that rather than go to sources and do our own research, we'd rather be spoon-fed something. So as long as people keep using those methods of communication, people will continually,
Some more wine.
people will continually, especially world leaders, will definitely use that to leverage their power. Because why Trump doesn't need to go up on the podium, have this large fucking speech, got to get all this. If he travels somewhere, he got to get Secret Service. He has to have all of this shit. They got to secure the premises. No, he can just hop on Twitter and get his message out to millions of people. And then not only that, journalists and the media are also then going to latch onto him and say, okay, the president said this, so it's something that we have to report on.
Honestly, I mean, I just think that I don't really know exactly what we're arguing, but but Twitter, like, I just don't think that I don't think that Twitter should be like basically what I think is like if Twitter should probably kick Trump off, and the government should probably figure out a way. Actually, that would be a terrible idea if Trump figured out like make some sort of program where he can get out his message. No, never mind. That'd be awful. Like that emergency system that he implemented when everybody was getting that text. Do you remember that? It was like there's a national emergency. You get like, at this time you're gonna get this text message saying like, hey, this is the FEMA National Alert System.
Yeah. And
So
they can push that out to every phone. Without,
every single phone. Right? So I feel like, if Twitter wanted to ban him or kick him off the platform, then they should be able to. But if we're arguing that the president should have a platform to reach millions, then I think that corporations shouldn't have to, say, here you go, leader, use us.
I'm not saying that the president should have a platform to reach millions. I'm saying that whatever platform he decides to use should be available to the masses, because you need to know what your elected officials are doing as well as the president. And
all right.
If Trump decides to use Twitter, then Twitter can't kick him off, because it's just like with Alex Jones, and why I don't believe in banning anybody for anything under any circumstances unless they're inciting violence, unless you're a public figure who can legitimately incite violence and get people to commit violent crimes. No, but he's not getting people to do that. He's not. How?
All right.
Because they're choosing to do it. That's him making them.
Listen. All right. As I said, people have their individual views and choices. They can make choices for them fucking selves. You're responsible for yourself.
Correct.
But how would someone incite violence then?
So if you are, say, Kanye West, and you tell Joe 1832 to go shoot fucking Mark 686 because for whatever reason,
like a specific go shoot,
or
so a specific like go shoot this person,
like go do this, commit this act.
So what about Trump's recent tweet? He said something like that, or he had that interview on Breitbart where he said, the left. They like to play dirty or something like that, but the right, when they do it, it's unfair. They get judged. So if the left starts playing dirty, just know that the military, the police, and the bikers, they're all for me. They're all for Trump. They'll do the right thing or something like that.
Well, yeah, he's always had those fucking.
But it's a dog whistle. He's a dog whistle to his supporters.
He always says that at his fucking rallies too. Yeah, I mean, remember there was multiple times I feel like that supporters punched. Will punch people in the fucking crowd and stuff, and it's like. Yeah. I mean, he could do that on Twitter, but they're never going to kick the president off of Twitter.
No, they're not. They're not.
But
you don't want the president off of Twitter anyway. You want to know what he's up to.
All right, say Hillary won.
Okay.
Would Trump not be tweeting?
Would Trump though? I mean, he'd be tweeting about every fucking thing she did. But
regardless,
would he be kicked off at this point if he wasn't president for some of the shit he would have said at this point, based on the way we've seen Twitter go? Mm-hmm. Would he have been? But also, then you have to look at it this way: if he isn't president, Twitter would never, or social media would never get to that point where it was such a divisive place and was so divided.
We were
or
heading
what?
there.
We were heading there
I-
anyway.
yeah,
Okay,
I think
all
so.
right.
I think so.
So
That's a
he
good-
would,
I mean,
but
do you
he
remember
would
when
probably be.
Obama was president?
You would
Like,
think. I mean, the president probably has amnesty basically on Twitter. Like they're completely
Pretty much
free of
everything.
any consequences because everyone wants to know what they have to say. It doesn't matter. Like they're.
you have
almost
to-
wonder. You go back. You're like, would they have kicked Hitler off of fucking Twitter?
Oh,
Would they have
ooh,
kicked
man.
any world leaders off of Twitter? Would they do
Well,
any of
The
it?
thing about, I mean,
Is that dude from fucking the Philippines on Twitter?
Duterte or something?
Yeah,
like
is he a verified account?
Yeah, he
on there?
probably posts. He's probably on
yeah, the
there.
pictures of all the drug dealers that he
Yeah, he's
murders
like,
in the
I just
streets.
shot this dude in the face. LOL. Hashtag.
He's pretty
He fucks up the hashtag too.
He's fucked with that.
He's pretty savage. I mean,
He is a savage. Yeah,
I know-
I do
like-
not support that guy. Let's make that clear.
Yeah.
But he is a savage.
that dude is
But he is a savage.
that dude is next fucking level. He don't play no games. He's like
I knew a couple
Putin
guys
level.
from the Philippines when I was doing plumbing.
Uh.
They're all related, every one of them, and they all did the HVAC. So they put up the ductwork for new buildings. Literally every single one of them was related on the crew. They were either brothers or cousins. And they all carried this fucking crazy ass knife, and they could all do that crazy ass
real?
like butterfly knife shit. And they would always do it on lunch breaks, and I was just like, God damn,
wish
these
I
dudes
could
are
do that shit.
nuts.
Dude, imagine.
Nuts.
Imagine if
They
you
could
ne-
handle themselves in any situation.
Okay. Imagine. Where were you living? In Richmond.
This is Richmond, yeah.
Okay, so imagine if you've never met, you're living in Southern Virginia,
Yeah,
Richmond area,
yeah.
and you've never met
This is my first time.
Filipino
This is my first time.
Filipino person, and like you didn't know any better.
I was like, this
and
is
he's
how
like,
all of them are.
damn, these guys know kung fu. These
They
guys have the
also all
butterfly
have
knives.
sweet ass cars. They all had like Fast and the Furious type cars.
Oh, that
yeah,
rules.
like
Yes.
the 350Zs,
Yeah.
Nissan
Stay
350Zs,
true.
like tricked out,
Yeah,
and they
hell
just
yeah.
fly out of work with their butterfly knives, fucking out
That's
the
awesome.
window doing this shit.
That's so cool. Hey, shout out to the Filipinos.
Yeah, right.
Straight up, one of the
Yeah.
baddest chicks I've seen in my life was from the Philippines. She was tough. She was mixed with
She was
something.
tough.
I didn't know that being a Muslim, but that the religion was huge down there.
Oh, is it?
Am I misspeaking, or
I
is
didn't
there a
know.
large
I
contingent
know
of
Malaysia,
Muslims?
or Indonesia. That's the largest like Muslim people.
I'm sorry, I'm
concentration.
thinking about Indonesia.
Oh,
My
okay,
apologies.
okay.
My apologies
But
to
still, I'm
everyone.
sure there is some like spillover.
Of
like,
course,
right there,
because
yeah.
they're so close.
Yeah.
But so then I might be right.
Yeah, you
I
probably
might be
are,
right.
yeah.
I might be
Yeah.
right. Yeah, I mean, I think whenever you think of Muslim, you think of
the
Middle East.
Yeah,
But I mean, it is the largest religion in the world, so it's got to be
Is
going.
it?
So
Yeah, I'm sure it is, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
just
yeah.
population wise.
By
Yeah.
far,
Muslim pop-
6% total population
Oh,
that
okay.
sounds like a lot
from
though.
2000.
I'm sure the U.S. is maybe close to that, maybe like 10%. No, not even 10%.
You think so?
I'm gonna say 8.
I mean, I know everybody in jail is.
Whoa,
1%.
1.1.
1%.
But that's
Good call.
3.45 million.
Yeah, I mean, so fucking huge.
Oh, wait, wasn't the Philippines like 3 million too? Isn't that what it was?
No, I think it was no, because the Philippines is
No, I didn't
much
think so.
smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't have a number.
What is the main? Go click on what is the main religion in the Philippines? Oh, Christian.
Christian,
Okay.
yeah.
I would think Catholicism.
86% of the people are Roman Catholic.
Oh,
Yep.
Christian. Okay, yup.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I would have never thought.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
Spanish colony.
So another one of the
Or
kind of
something.
hold on. Let's finish up this generational thing with Gen
Yes,
Y. What
yes.
else you have on here, Ray?
Oh, so I had
Oh, some differences here.
two things I put on here. I did political and social differences, and then I also had below this like the differences in sex
Oh, yeah.
between
Okay.
our generations, because things are a changing.
Okay.
But yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. Political and social differences. One of the things they said that only about 3 in 10 Gen Zers and Millennials, 30% and 29% respectively, approve of the way Donald Trump is handling his job as president. This compares with 38% of Gen Xers and 43% of Boomers.
Yeah, but how Gen
seems
Zers? I
high
mean, Gen
for
Zers only
Gen Z
have
everyone.
about 4 years out of the total of 20 that are in voting age.
Well,
So
true.
I mean, yeah, I guess they don't have to approve, but fuck, we gotta raise that voting
3
age.
in 10 though.
We
3 in
gotta raise that voting age.
Let's not. Let's
Dumbass kids.
let's put a limit. Let's put a limit. If you're old enough to be senile, please do not vote.
I
That's
straight
how
up
we got
voted
here.
against Obama the second time,
Who'd you vote
first
for?
time. First time, I think.
Who'd you vote for?
No, did I vote for who ran for against Obama the first time?
McCain and
what about the second
Romney.
time?
I don't know which.
Did I vote McCain? I think I voted McCain.
All right, Andrew,
because of his war story.
I'm
No, I seriously remember
dude.
doing that because I was just like, "Fuck it, this is the way I would."
Trump.
Just like why not?
Trump is after,
and it was just like, "This is not a good way to vote at all." That was dumb.
Trump is after McCain's neck.
Really?
All the time.
Dude, I saw that this week.
Still?
And he's been dead for 7 months.
And he's like,
Still?
nobody said thank you. We had a state funeral. Nobody
Yeah.
said thank you. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, no one said thank you. It's
Oh,
just like, well, he's
man.
dead, Trump. He's
Like,
dead. He
dude,
can't say thank you.
Yeah, and Meghan
Yeah.
McCain is like, she's on The View, and she's like, supposed to be like right-leaning Republican, but she's still like, like, she brings out her father like a lot. Like she uses that a lot. I'm not saying that she shouldn't, but a lot of times she's excessive. I'm sorry, Meghan. But yeah, like she's not gonna say sorry. She hates you. Like she's
Trump
like,
was like, it's no secret. I never liked him. It's like, what the fuck, man?
Did he? Oh, and he showed up at his funeral too. I'm pretty sure John McCain's like only wish was like, do not
Hey,
let
dude,
Trump.
I
at
heard
my
he
funeral.
showed up at his funeral
He's just the pettiest dude.
and he spit on his grave.
Word?
And then he flicked off his mother.
Oh, yeah, that happened. Yeah. Oh, that happened. Yeah, that happened. No, I feel like Trump would be more I feel like he wouldn't be so direct. He would do something really catty. Like, he would say, oh, did you see Meghan McCain's dress? Not good, folks. Not good. Get TMZ here.
That's actually pretty good.
It says Gen Z is the most racially and ethnically diverse generation we've seen. I guess that makes sense because that's in America, right? Gen Z?
Yes.
This is all America.
Yeah.
So, people are now in more racially diverse couples. That makes a lot of sense to me.
Yep.
Just based on that people aren't doing your traditional, you need to stay with your own kind type shit.
Right.
Which, damn. Why people got to be like that?
That shit existed for a minute there, man.
It did.
People were dying for dating outside of their
millennials and Gen Zers share similar views about ethnic and racial change in the country. Roughly 6 and 10 from each generation say increased racial and ethnic diversity is a good thing.
That seems so low.
Why? Yeah. Why the fuck is 6 and 10? What increased racial and ethnic diversity is a good thing?
Well, we live like in.
What about the other 4? Why would it not be a good thing?
We live in like a pretty liberal area.
Very much so.
I find the views interesting, and it just brings it up with that. Like the people that are so for keeping things within their own race, like what do they call it? Like not keeping things, keeping things
homogeneous.
What is that?
Okay,
what is the opposite of diverse?
I will say though.
What the fuck?
I will say though.
Exclusive.
I will say though. I do not want gentrification of Salvadoran
Sound like
food.
a club.
I don't need no Korean Salvadoran fusion food. Please do not do that. I'm sorry.
Wait,
I love
Sounds
Korean
awful.
food. But
that
like,
sounds awful.
I've had Korean Cajun fusion. That's up in Sterling. It's pretty good.
Korean and black
Loco Mandy.
Korean and black food goes pretty good together.
Ooh.
Like Korean barbecue.
I had a bunch of that.
All right,
man. That
all
was
right.
delicious.
I'm not gonna say who it was because they may have listened. Or one of their significant others may listen. But I was with some friends, and they were white friends, and we had some salsa and some queso, and it was nothing. I didn't taste a bit of spice, and I heard multiple. Ooh, it's hot.
I don't get that, bruh.
The salt in this salsa is spicy.
I don't get that shit.
That rules.
But yeah, I just like had no one there to like. Lydia wasn't with me, and I had no one to like. I was just like, I have to like save this for later. Like internally, I can't even laugh right now and say anything.
That's awesome.
I have
no one
never
will get
got
it.
that, bruh.
Yeah,
I have
that's
never
awesome.
got how you could eat regular ass salsa and still call it spicy.
I
bruh.
used to be in the camp where I thought things were spicy, but I got out of it.
Like what? What were you eating?
Dude, I remember in college, and this is embarrassing, and friends of mine will remember this. I went to Buffalo Wild Wings for, I believe, it was either the NCAA tournament or the World Cup, and had a quesadilla with pico de gallo.
Oh my god, bro.
Pico de gallo.
What?
Pico de gallo.
I know.
Pico de gallo, bruh.
And then I had banchan one time.
Oh, banchan's spicy though.
It burned my tongue
spicy.
forever.
Banchan's spicy.
It burned my
Yeah.
tongue forever, and nothing is spicy now. Although the other day I had some Thai food, and it made me cry. But it was really good.
Thai food, in my opinion, even Indian people say Thai food is
Dude.
not to be fucked with.
All right, there's Terra Thai around the corner. Has 3 different levels
Oh,
of
yeah,
spice,
yeah.
and on Uber Eats you can't tell what fucking level is the lowest because they're all kind of the same in terms of how they're
damn.
said. And
Oh,
you're
wait,
like,
what do they say? Spicy, spicy, spice.
I gotta look it up just to tell you. But
Bro,
it's-
because so my roommate is Indian. He's Pakistani, and he makes a lot of. He'll cook for us a lot, right?
Mhm.
And he'll be like, "It's a little spicy." To him, a little spicy is nothing, bruh. I eat one bite on fire, but I'm getting used to it. And he could eat spicy food like that, and even he'll say, "Look, do not fuck with Thai food. When they
Word.
say medium spicy,
Damn.
it will burn your fucking lungs out, bro."
Damn.
Okay,
I don't know
okay.
if you've eaten some hot Thai food, but Lord,
this is the different
bruh.
ratings. So it has Raging Fire, obviously not the one you want.
Nope.
Not
pass
the
on
one you
that
want.
one.
But the other 2 are Stimulating Kick and Tingling Sensation.
Wait, I'm
what is that?
assuming like tingling sensation's the least spiciest.
But that's the second one listed right under Raging Fire.
I think
and
Raging Fire is the hottest
Obviously.
one here.
obviously,
Andrew.
obviously,
Oh,
obviously,
it's not?
obviously, no, it is. But Stimulating Kick and Tingling Sensation. What's the difference?
Well, a kick and a sensation.
Okay, we get
You
kick
know.
most of the time, and it kills me.
Oh yeah, dude, get the sensation, man.
I
Come
don't
on.
think so because it's listed right beside Raging Fire. You can't fuck with it.
That's
it
a
just
gamble, bro.
Damn.
basically every time they kill me, and
That's a
it's
gamble.
good, but it's just
I'm sorry,
You're
Andrew.
just like you're just eating it like the whole fucking time. Your eyes are just
I like to
fucking
work
watering.
for my food, bro.
I
I like to work for mine.
I have a beat ups spicy story actually. It was actually a couple months ago.
Okay.
I was there watching a fight with some friends. We ordered one of those like I don't even remember what it was, but they had it was the jalapeno peppers on the nachos, right? You know, I was eating all of the peppers, right? And I just forgot that you're not supposed to eat the seeds.
Oh yeah.
And I was the only one eating the peppers, so like I feel like they were looking at me already like kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Damn, yeah, that's right, bitch. I'm eating peppers." and
Not Pico de Gallo. No Pico de Gallo over here.
and I remember the very last pepper had all the seeds like in the little thing.
Oh, you're bugging.
Ate the whole thing. Got the seeds immediately. They just seized up my throat, and I stood up. I was like,
Oh
just
no.
choking my lungs out.
You know.
Oh my god, it was so embarrassing.
Some of my favorite videos
they
on the
never show
internet
out ever.
are those like ghost pepper videos or whatever where people
Oh,
eat them
man.
and they just die.
I had just the peanut with the seasoning for ghost pepper that
How'd it go?
Just a little peanut, dude. I was choking. It
What
was
was
so
that one?
hot.
Remember the one
Why?
chip challenge?
Yes.
One chip challenge?
Yeah, from like a couple years ago, or a year ago,
What
year and a
is-
half
you
ago.
can't just have one. Is this Lay's or something?
No, it was
a
one
ghost
chip.
pepper chip.
It literally came one chip in a package.
Yeah.
And you ordered it and you ate the one chip and it was the one chip
And
challenge. You eat
people
it
were
and
dying,
just done.
bro.
Just there was. I remember Deez and Mara did that on the show on Viceland.
I thought it was
it was one white dude
There was
in
a
the
one.
back.
I thought he was gonna die, bro.
He was throwing up in a trash can for the whole end of the show. Like thought he was gonna die.
Did you guys watch Hot Ones?
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't
Yeah,
watched it in so
people.
long.
Yeah, people freak out
Yeah,
on
they
that show.
freak
Yeah.
out.
No, I can't do any of that any of those challenges.
Oh, I love it.
The you could do like the hot ones challenge.
I would do it.
No,
Easily.
I mean, I would
love
do
hot
it,
shit.
but you know, when we
I
get
love
that
hot
big,
food.
obviously we're gonna be on there, you know, doing it, and I'll stop halfway and you'll keep going.
I'll do it, man. Because for me, I'm like, all right, it's temporary. It might last like an hour or so, but max, it's lasting like a couple hours.
Yeah.
Pain
And after
is
that,
temporary.
There we go.
I saw
go,
Action
right?
Bronson
There you go.
on there, and he just had his blunts. He was
Yeah,
just
he was just
smoking,
smoking, yeah.
and he was just
Crushing
ripping.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it looked hot, but he was
But-
basically it was weird. He was staring at the host, and I feel like tears were like streaming down his face, and he was just still
Dude,
like just
Action-
looking at him, just like,
Action
God damn, you're
Bronson.
crazy as
Crazy,
fuck.
man.
Yo,
bro.
Action
brought-
Bronson
he
is a
brought up
man
his
of
dude.
culture.
He brought up his bald friend.
DJ or the Alchemist.
Alchemist.
Yeah.
No, not the small
Oh,
dude. The big dude that
the
got out of
funny
prison.
one.
Yeah. He got out of prison
Big
on
Body.
the
No,
one of the
yeah.
episodes of that show he had on Viceland where he's Fuck That's Delicious, where he's eating all
I
this
never
food.
watched it.
Yeah, so he travels the
that
world
show.
and ate food.
Yeah.
It was amazing
Yeah.
food on the show.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
one
yeah.
of his friends got out of prison and just came on the show. Like that was just what he did day after he got out.
Big
and this is
Body
the
Fest, I think, yeah.
this is the dude that came out on the Hot Ones episode, and he was just fucking around. I mean, he just stood there and
He's
it
so
just was.
funny.
How
They had
long
to
was he
bring
in prison for?
I don't know. I mean, a while,
Yeah,
and he just got out
he-
and was just on the Viceland show because
so
Action
dope.
Bronson just wanted him to be, I guess.
I can't remember what song it was, but it was on Sob Stories or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Big Body has this hilarious intro, like to one of his songs. He's like, "I come to your house and I don't even eat the leftovers. I eat straight out the pot," or something like that at the beginning of the song. And he's just saying the most ridiculous like shit. He's like, Puerto Rican cuisine, I eat it, or something like that.
He was thinking about all this when he was in prison. He was
Oh
like,
hell yeah, he
I'm
wrote all
dropping
these bars.
this.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So what does Action Bronson do?
Everything. He's a man of culture.
I guess he
Renaissance man,
he
modern
rapped.
Renaissance
Yeah,
man.
sure. He rapped at first.
For real?
But Viceland
still
gave him a
raps.
fucking that show. It was called Fuck That's Delicious. Excuse me. And it was just them going around the world eating crazy shit and being there. Where are they from? Brooklyn?
Brooklyn.
Yeah, their Brooklyn selves just
Queens.
loud as fuck and just not
Yeah.
giving a shit. Just and going to Japan,
yeah.
eating crazy like octopus and wild shit that was out there.
I think he left though. I think.
Well, and then he got a cooking show on there where he brought on like celebrities, and then he brought on like a band. He'd have a house band, and he'd just cook. It was like a late night show. It came on like 11:30 or something, and it was actually pretty cool.
This isn't the one where like they cook shit with weed in it, is it?
No, that was another one. No, Viceland always had that fucking weed shit. Yeah,
Viceland was dope. I used to watch that shit all the time. I don't know. I kind of fell off that shit.
yeah, same here. We got rid of cable. Just like they said, the
when
millennials getting rid of cable.
When I dog sit for you guys, I don't know what the hell to watch. There's like MLB Network, and like I remember one time I was watching Goodfellas.
Oh, we got
like the fourth time.
Hey, we got PlayStation View. That shit. We got
I just
like,
couldn't figure
80
it
channels
out.
or
You know,
something.
maybe I'm in the older tier of millennial because I could not figure that out. I was so upset. I was just watching Goodfellas. I'm like, dude, I've seen this so many times, man. I'm sorry,
Funny, dude.
I can't do this. I gotta go. I'm leaving Frank.
So you found some differences in sex here as well, Ray?
Yeah, man. So yeah, I forget who it was, but they
said that they use condoms. 65%
What
of
is
Gen Z
what is
respondents
millennial? Really? Answer
say
this.
they use condoms all the time or some of the time. Well, unfortunately, only 54% of millennials participate. Wait, who
okay.
wrote this and said, unfortunately, condoms suck?
Yeah, I mean,
it's like
I'm about to say.
I mean,
'cause
they prevent diseases and they're
fucking with a
great.
trash bag. But
For
like
that, I
so
guess.
so the people who did this, it's the skin condoms. 2019
Huh?
skin condoms sex and intimacy survey asked
No, I don't know
2000
skin condoms.
asked 2000
Never
Gen
heard
Z
of
adults
Me neither.
18
What
to
is that?
22 and millennials 18
I'm
age
thinking they're
23
made out
to
of like a
38.
lamb skin.
Yeah.
a lamb skin.
Yo, bruh. No.
That's what our founding fathers used when they were having sex.
Bruh. No.
condoms
And they had
like
to
that?
rinse them
Son,
out.
yeah.
They had to rinse them out and
So
use them
gross.
again.
This is my trusty condom. I bring it everywhere.
Dude, they fucking
My father passed it down.
Oh my god!
What the fuck
You
they
used it with my
I think
mother.
they used something like
Once you get Crown
lambskin or some
Prince,
shit
you get
like
the,
that.
the royal condom, the royal lambskin condom.
Shit got like 5 shades of blood on it.
Oh God! All right.
Jesus.
all
Oh,
right.
But well, I mean that doesn't seem. It just like a 10% increase that they use condoms. I mean, it said both percentages could be higher, but I mean, I guess that's a big deal. But that just means that they're more conscious, probably because they had more information earlier on, because they're more desensitized with TV and all the shit with what STDs are, what pregnancy is, what that shit can do to your life. Maybe you
Probably.
think that they're maybe a little more aware of that, Christian?
I don't know.
I mean, I feel like that 54% statistic for millennials is accurate, and I don't really know what to say about Gen Z, but what I have like pretty much what I understand about them is that like they'd rather just not have sex at all because they're just like doing other shit, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like I really wouldn't know. So I feel like
They're
if they're gonna have sex, they're probably gonna use condoms because maybe they're less promiscuous. I don't know. Maybe that's
they
the
are.
thing.
They're having less sex, but they're watching more porn.
There we go then. Yeah.
So-
yeah.
Like it's intimacy of a
Said
kind.
they're becoming
but-
sexually active earlier than their millennial counterparts,
Yeah,
though.
but
But
still
the
having
average
sex.
age for becoming sexually active was 16 for Gen Z respondents, while most millennials started at 18. Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Huh. But this also said that, this is a weird question. When asked if they'd rather give up sex or social media for a year, which to me seems very clear, there was a definite difference between the generations. 55% of Gen Z respondents said they'd rather give up social media. Well, yeah. Well, shit, damn. That means 45% of them said they'd rather give up sex.
Yep. Meanwhile, 67% of millennials said the same.
I don't
Only
know,
around
man.
10
Twitter's
they'd
pretty
give up
funny.
Sex. Wow.
Twitter's pretty funny. I don't know, man.
That's
For a year? Nah.
For a
That's
year,
crazy,
I think I
bruh.
could do it for a year.
I don't know.
I'll just become like a monk, a warrior
Yeah.
monk.
Oh, yeah,
just
you-
sexless, but just focus on
I don't think
combat.
you can have Twitter either if you're a monk. I'm pretty
Oh,
sure that's
fuck.
bad.
No, all right,
Yeah.
pause.
Monks
Damn,
are the,
I don't know that.
Monks are kind of
No, Twitter is like my religion then, if I'm the monk. I'm a warrior monk. I train,
On
I go to Orange Theory, and
It's been
I
that-
game.
It is that thing. It is kind of like a religion to a lot of people at this point.
I would-
Social media.
I wake up,
would
I,
assume so.
I pray to Jack Dorsey, I scroll my
I know,
timeline,
right?
I read the readings,
don't
and
even
I
know
go
how to
on
use
about
it.
my day.
I've never been on. I've been on.
I'm gonna
Twitter
make
once.
I'm gonna make Ray download it and start logging into our account and using it, so I don't
Just
have
look-
to use it all. the
Just
time.
look through my
I'm
just
not
look through
doing
my
that
likes,
shit.
like just look through my likes on it, and
Follow those people.
No, I wouldn't say follow, but that's
Oh.
probably the most. That I pretty much just like everything that's like pretty relevant, I guess. If you just look at it, you'll probably
all right,
see
there you
like
go.
what's going on. As far
Twitter
as, like,
for dummies.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll
Yeah,
figure it
I-
out by following.
I couldn't. I couldn't get back on social media. It's for
Well,
me,
if
it's a
you're not
done
on
deal.
it, don't.
Yeah, it's
if you're not
done
on
deal.
it, don't.
I'm tapped out.
Yeah,
I've-
don't.
I couldn't even just reading daily shit and trying to keep up somewhat moderately with what's going on. I'm like, dude, this is enough. I couldn't imagine being inundated with something new every like 2 to 3 seconds. I'd lose my fucking mind, dude. I'd
Yeah,
lose my
don't.
goddamn mind,
I'm
bro.
way too far in it, man. I just I can't.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Hey, more power to you, bro.
Yeah.
More power to you. The more, I mean, it's like I don't judge people who are on it. I know there's that, like, sometimes I come off where like people think that I have some type of negative feelings towards people who are on social media. I don't give a shit. I just know
Nah,
for
I
me
wouldn't
it's
think
not
that
my
at
thing.
all.
I know for me it's
Yeah.
not my thing, and from what I'm seeing, it just doesn't seem like it's the best thing to be on a lot.
It's not healthy.
You know what? You know
Yeah,
what?
it's not
It's
healthy. Do not.
completely taken out of my life because I mean, so the only one I have the Twitter for this, like our account for the podcast, and then I have my Instagram, but I don't even have my Instagram on my phone where I can see it, so I don't ever use it. But the weird thing is, ever since getting rid of all those things, I don't have fear of missing out on anything anymore. Like I don't have that period because I don't see what other people are doing. I talk to my friends if I want to talk to my friends. Like that's how I communicate with people now. And it takes a little more practice to get back into that because you're not used to it. But I don't know. It ultimately made it more simple for me.
I mean, I could definitely see that like going away for sure because that's definitely like a big, like what do you call it? Like, factor of why somebody would have anxiety, especially when they're on social media.
Yeah.
So
You pull it a little closer.
oh, whoops.
There you go.
Hello, testing.
Yeah, it
All
sounds
right.
good when it's close.
And so yeah, I mean, but then again, like now that I'm gotten older, I remember when I was younger, that was a big
in front of you.
thing. Damn, I can't use a mic.
There you go.
All
There you go.
right,
Right in front of you. It
all
sounds
right.
really good there.
All right, yeah, that sounds perfect. All right, so hopefully because I was talking like that the whole podcast doesn't sound like shit. But
No.
anyways,
Okay.
so what I was saying is like now that I've gotten older though, I don't really have like FOMO anymore. You know,
Yeah, maybe that as well.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
But I'm younger though. When I was younger, for sure, I'm like, damn, everyone's at Ocean City or something like that.
Well, shit,
Or at Morgantown.
yeah, but you started with social media way earlier than we would have, obviously, in age, because
MySpace.
when
middle
I
school.
was at 20, like you're 24, when I was 24, that was like the fucking height of it,
of what?
of social media
Oh.
for me, or like even the beginning of it.
oh.
Yeah, or even like the beginning, like
yeah, this
Facebook.
is like I'm in like the downturn now. Yeah, for
Because
sure.
Facebook came out in 2006, I believe, 2005. Because I got it in 2006. Like you had to have the college email to sign up
Yeah.
for it or whatever. And then Instagram was around way later. I didn't get that till after.
2010 or 11, I think.
Till after I was out of college. But yeah, it's all very new, so it's still being navigated and figured out by fucking everybody.
I was on MySpace in middle school, and I will say that I am so glad that just last week or this week there was this article saying that the contractor that they hired, the IT firm they hired to do a data migration, like a server migration from their old servers to the new servers, lost everything.
Wait, all the MySpace shit?
No, all the photos. I don't know about like comments and profiles, but I know they lost all the photos and all of the songs that have ever been uploaded to MySpace.
Oh, that's terrible for those people with the songs, I guess.
That sucks for artists.
That's good for me and everybody else because I don't have I don't have the embarrassing shit. Yeah. Imagine like someone finds a dumbass picture of me like doing some dumbass shit. Yeah.
The internet is forever.
It is. Yeah. I can't wait
forever.
for like my great grandchildren to like see the archives of his grandfather tweeting about
Jesus Christ.
Tweeting about Chipotle and their E.
When you
coli Christ, like damn, I will never eat again. Like great take, Grandpa.
I wonder whether this was whether previous generations felt like this, where for a long time I could see the progression of where things could go, but this is the first time in my life where I'm legitimately at a loss for words or thoughts of what the future is going to look like.
Yeah.
I have no fucking idea. I always thought I had some reasonable expectation of what could be coming about, but I'm like, what the fuck does happen after this? Where everything you've ever said is around for, like, what the fuck does that look like? When, like you said, your grandfather's, you can look into his archives of shit he was doing when he was fucking
even
15.
This podcast right now will probably be around forever.
Yeah, wow.
And then, and so this is, we're not even.
Unless an asteroid hits Earth and
Which-
blows the whole
Please
thing
come.
out. Damn.
I'm praying to the Twitter gods for the asteroids to come. I'm done.
I'm done.
Because the blockchain technology hasn't even hit the internet yet.
Oh, yeah.
Once that hits, like, you think shit is forever now. There's things you can do now to like finesse your shit off of the internet. But once blockchain technology gets implemented into the internet, that's it, bro.
Well, because
That's it.
Because it requires the other party, like some other party, right, to
every-
sign off on it.
Yes.
Well, because every piece of it won't be sitting in the same location.
Exactly.
So it's like you can't delete one piece because
When it's sitting on a million computers, how are you gonna delete it?
Yeah.
Oh, Ted Kaczynski, man, you maybe had a point. We're going way too far.
Yeah. Rogan
Ted
talked.
might have had a
I hate
point,
to
bro.
talk about Rogan all the time, but I listen to the podcast all the fucking time. He was talking about Kaczynski the other day for something. He's the Unabomber, if you
Yes,
didn't know.
that's correct.
But he.
I do not support terrorism.
There were experiments done on him
MK Ultra, yeah.
in a lab with LSD.
Huge
I believe.
doses.
MK Ultra, that's what,
Insane doses of
doses,
it,
yeah.
and I mean that's one of the reasons why he became this. Like,
isn't that fucked up?
But what they say is with these drugs, you kind of see into these alternate dimensions or this other, realm, so to speak. So not necessarily that he went crazy, but more so that he could see things that we couldn't, is what he was trying to say. That he could see things that were coming that we couldn't necessarily see. Yeah. So I mean that's what a lot of people, at least that do those.
He was right about a lot of shit.
I heard.
Again,
hey,
not
when you do
supporting
those
what he
drugs,
did,
it
but
feels very much like a bleeding effect of something else coming into your current state of being.
Yeah.
It's really cool and kind of scary at the time.
dude, I mean, think about
yeah,
simple shit like your inability to see oxygen, right?
Maybe that's what all that pink shit was when I was on it.
But I mean,
floating around in front of my eyes.
there's so many things that exist within the world that we know exists. There's so many things that we can't see. Shit, you could walk down the street and miss all kinds of shit, right? I mean, you barely see anything as it is. And I think what happens when you take these drugs, I mean, this is just my humble opinion, is that, like you said, it just
opens up your third eye.
I think I think when you're walking around day-to-day life sober, you have these guards up that make it so that you can't pay attention to these things because it would be too hard to function otherwise.
Yeah.
But when
you
know what I mean?
Like,
but
your sensory functionality is just limited to enough for you to get going.
Yes, to get from A to B in whatever regard that is. You to that girl, you to that job, you to that whatever it may be. But when you take drugs, I think it melts all of that shit, and then all of this input just that I think this shit does exist. just floods your fucking.
I agree, but
Yeah.
I will say though, if I were to be on LSD or some sort of psychedelic, I probably would not leave the house. I would just
not a good idea.
sit there, and
It's not a good idea to be in
whoa,
public.
yeah.
I don't like being in public.
Well, it can be a good idea. I mean, I've done it at music festivals. It's been a lot of fun because there's a lot of other people doing
Okay,
it.
so if you're a seasoned veveteran and you're in an environment like that,
First time. This is my first time.
well, if
You're like, don't tell the people that. I was making a point.
If you have experience with hallucinogenics, then yes, you can go out in
Okay,
public.
I did.
But if you are a rookie with it, being outside is probably not the best course of action.
Yeah, I mean, you want to be in a comfortable space, I guess.
Certainly.
I remember booing Paul McCartney when I was doing it, just because it didn't seem like
Paul McCartney.
Yeah, it just didn't.
What do you mean by that?
It didn't seem like good music,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I could probably. I mean,
He's really old, and he just
Yeah.
wasn't doing a good show.
Yeah.
And it was his
wait.
birth-
Oh, you saw Paul McCartney live on
acid, yeah.
That would have been amazing.
Well, that's kind of why we did it, because
Wait,
we
why
weren't
did
like,
you go?
because it was at Firefly. He was the
Oh.
headliner, and we weren't like really excited for that.
Yeah.
I think it was the
so you
like,
gotta take it.
It was
yeah.
like the Friday night, so like Saturday and Sunday were much better headliners, so we were
Yeah.
ready for those. And so we actually turned our backs to the stage and just looked at this set of woods that had like flashing lights on it,
Whoa.
and just
Just high as fuck.
yeah, exactly. We were just seeing all sorts of colors and shit, and then we were like,
Damn.
man, this music is really like hurting my high. Like
This shit
we were just like
sucks.
looking at the trees, and we were just like, boo. Just
But-
booing them.
Paul McCartney was the Beatles, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
But imagine the people back then that were listening to it.
Dude, I'm
Well,
not.
I mean, then again,
that
Paul
shit.
McCartney now, the Beatles back then, totally different.
Very
Never mind.
I also,
Yeah.
It's like listening to Wayne at
my
60.
all right. So my dad's
It's
favorite
gonna be
band of all time,
different.
Beatles,
Yeah.
and I'm a big proponent of Beatles. Just
I'm not a fan.
overrated. As fuck.
I'm not a fan of the Beatles. I'm
Overrated as
sorry.
fuck.
I've tried to give it a
Hot
shot.
Yo,
take.
okay, all right.
I've tried to give
Imagine
I'm not
this.
into it,
Imagine
yeah.
this. Whatever fucking year this was,
Yeah.
1960 maybe. No one's ever heard whatever the fuck their music was, rock,
yeah.
British rock before, and they
Yeah.
sing. Maybe, yeah, okay, that's crazy. Like they did something, but like it doesn't nowadays, or even compared to things since. It doesn't like.
It doesn't match up.
Have you
It
like
doesn't live up to
any
the
other
quality.
rock band like comparatively? Just even the movie about Queen that I just fucking saw, like them, they're more exciting than fucking the Beatles
I'm
are.
with you, man. I mean, I honestly don't think the Beatles are.
Yeah, I've heard
I'm
all
not
their
a fan.
songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it always is just boring. I got in an argument last year on somebody's birthday with that. Some
About the
random,
Beatles?
some random girl at the party was very upset with me.
Well, how old was she?
Probably around my age.
She
Yeah,
was a Beatles fan.
like number one. That was her number one.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Who has a
happens?
number one now though? Like,
Oh, I
there's
got-
so
who-
much.
And
I got
it's
a
my
number one.
age, and
What's
it's
your
the
number
fucking
one?
Beatles.
J. Cole, easily,
really?
easily,
Really?
not even close.
Yeah, I mean, yours is probably J. Cole.
It's
right?
it's
not
see,
even
I'm
close to me.
too indecisive to make that
too
commitment.
many. Yeah.
yeah.
If you ask
But
me
yeah,
by
I mean,
genre,
he's-
then yes.
He sits in that one spot with other people jumping in and out of it the whole time.
That's
yeah.
my number one.
Man.
What's your? So you don't have a number? Do you
I
have
don't
a
like
number?
being decisive.
If we're
I think
talking,
it's boring.
If we're talking about that
For
type
me.
of rap, if we're talking about that type of rap, I'm
Yeah.
definitely gonna go Kendrick Lamar.
Kendrick. Oh, that's,
Yeah.
that's not
See,
a
J,
crazy choice.
JID or JID or whatever.
Yeah.
He's coming up too.
Bro, he's my
He's
guy.
so good.
Yeah.
He's
my
so
guy.
Lydia hates him with a passion.
Why? He's just like
'Cause of his
Kendrick.
voice.
He sounds just like Kendrick when
voice.
he does the voice.
Because of his high pitched voice,
Kendrick,
I guess.
Kendrick's voice.
No,
Kendrick has like
does a high pitched
he
voice,
does,
and that's what.
and it
what's
sounds
the-
very similar
yeah,
to
yeah.
that. Yeah, but Kendrick knows how to. It's not his whole thing. Where Kendrick throws it into a song and then he goes back to his regular voice
Oh,
and
you're
shit.
right. Yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Whereas,
That's one of the things I kind of wanted to get into. Actually, we talked about it was kind of the difference between what's good rap and what's not good rap. The generational differences in that
All right,
almost.
throw a rapper out.
Well, I mean, we can do that, yes, but I'm just thinking like you should throw a rapper
Wait,
out, like
can we
ones that
establish
maybe
something, though?
we don't know.
Can we establish something? Can we clearly define what is good rap and bad rap? I think we can.
I think
Just based
it's
on
objective.
people.
It's objective. Like I
I think in just
so-
quality.
all right, so I'll say this: I listen to a different type of rap for different type of things.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
if I'm gonna go work out, I'm not gonna listen to J. Cole.
Of course.
I'm
Yeah, don't
I'm
normally.
gonna listen. Okay, I'm not saying I listen to Tekashi 6ix9ine all the time, but I am 100% of the time gonna listen to Tekashi over J. Cole
In the gym? Yeah, of course.
in the gym.
Okay.
So I mean, if we're gonna get into the argument about SoundCloud rap or whatever, I mean, I think SoundCloud rap. The reason I like it is because it has like a very, like, what is it, DIY feel to it.
Do it yourself, yeah.
Yeah, DIY feel to it, and it's very. It feels like it's punk to me, and I like punk music.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
So if you listen
Never
to
thought about it like
XXX Tentacion, I
Yeah.
mean, he was kind of a piece of shit, but
Yeah.
you listen to a lot of his early stuff. It was very lo-fi like style music, but it was very aggressive. So like, it reminds me if I'm listening to like Dead Kennedys or Gigi Allen or something like that.
Yeah.
So I love that shit. I'm listening to it for the energy. I'm not listening to it for lyrical content.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's I will just start there and say,
And I think that's
Yeah.
a huge difference for me because I mean, there's most of what I listen to rap to is for lyrical content. Like, I mean, there's
Same.
beats. I mean, it can't be. I can't listen to a song that doesn't have a good beat and has good lyrics. It just, I mean, I can sometimes, but a lot of the time I get lost because I can't deal with the
I
beat.
was listening to this one song earlier, and I thought this line was hard, but you guys are gonna think it's gonna be so stupid.
It's gonna be so
It's
bad.
it's called the song is called Filet Mignon by Lil Tracy.
Shit.
Do you hate it already?
And the line was like, "I love these bitches. I swear I'm a feminist," or something like that. I was like, "Damn!"
pretty good. I
was
do like
I was
that.
like, "Damn, I'm a feminist too." Then
I'm still hung up on one Eminem line from one of his recent songs.
Oh, you've said it before.
He's like,
What is it?
he goes, like a shepherd having sex with his sheep. Fuck what you heard.
stop.
That is like it hurts every
Fuck
time I
what you
think of
heard.
that
Wait,
line.
this was recent too.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yes.
Oh.
That was what was that song called? You sent it to me.
Fuck, it's like gangster.
Rainy
something.
Days.
Rainy days.
Yeah, yeah.
No.
Every time I hear that line, my head
my
doesn't know how to process it. Like, what were you thinking when you came up with that line, bruh? Like,
Yo,
it's so insanely.
But
like,
you know what though? Whenever that song first came out, I swear if I scroll down through my Facebook feed, I will see somebody tweet or posting that. Yeah, fuck what you heard or something
that
like
was
that.
funny.
I'm like, damn, that was hard,
It
bro.
fucked my whole head up, bro. Eminem, but that's Eminem. That's his entire career. He's a punchline. This is it right here. It's not. It's Eminem's verses like in the middle. Yeah, that's the song right there though. That's my shit.
Yeah, you said that is a good song. I
It's-
do like
It
that.
does
really good
sound
song.
pretty good though.
Yeah.
Like from there.
Who's
But
that
the thing
in
is,
it with him?
Like Boogie, some or some
So
shit like that.
I remember seeing
that's
that.
his name, Boogie.
I remember seeing
Good call.
that. I remember seeing that, like when that album came out, that lyric tweeted, like quote tweeted it on something,
Uh-huh.
and they're like, "This is why I'm not gonna listen to Eminem" or something like that, and
Re-
they tweet that. So I'm like, I didn't even give the album a
How
chance
would-
off of that
how
tweet.
does
You
that
know what I
not-
think I did?
How does that double entendre
You
not
know,
just?
I think
Wait,
think
you're
I
saying
let.
that line is hard?
I love that line.
Oh, I was laughing at it. I thought that was so fucking stupid.
How?
I thought that was so corny, dude.
How?
I thought it was so corny.
How were we
So-
all just not on the same
No,
page?
no, no,
Because
I
I
was-
completely.
yeah, yeah. I was-
I
Not even a
just
little
thought-
bit.
I thought that he thought it was really good.
No, I thought it was hilarious.
I thought it
like,
was-
I thought it was
So
bad.
wait,
I'm
so
sorry.
tell me how.
No, okay. The line. Okay, I will say
Okay,
though.
okay.
Lil Tracy is not Eminem by Eddie Beans.
No. I'm saying what about the line makes it stupid?
It's like no. Okay, punchline rap is fucking like 08, 09, 07, that type of era, and that like that type of shit. Like it just doesn't.
I feel like
translate anymore.
I feel like that
You can't
is
say
it
that
is rap.
anymore.
I feel like it is rap still because it's not punchline. It's a metaphor.
It's a metaphor.
They're-
But that is just such a weird metaphor.
Yeah, but it's Eminem. He does that shit all the fucking
Sorry.
time.
So
Can
wait,
you
so
repeat?
wait, so
Can
wait,
you
so
repeat
wait.
it again? Can you repeat the line again?
Like a shepherd having sex with his sheep.
Why
Fuck
the fuck
what you
would
heard.
you say that?
Because it's Eminem. Because how many times have you
Okay,
ever asked that
okay.
about Eminem?
Wait,
Okay, but the
time
thing
out.
is,
This
but
is
that's
hurting my
not
head.
Eminem now, though. That's not Eminem. Eminem now is a grown man looking like a trucker with a beard.
I
Like,
think he's just an angry dude, just like he's always been.
I'm so
What-
confused. So you're saying rap doesn't need punchlines anymore?
No, I'm not saying that at all, but that's just weird. Like that's just a weird punchline and it's corny.
How? Like you gotta give me substance, because I can tell you how it's a good line.
Okay,
you gotta tell me
okay.
how it's a bad line.
So maybe why I think it's corny now is why I think it's corny, and maybe back then I would think it's cool. Like when people were rapping in metaphors still, like predominantly like rap was metaphors at that time. I think it's because I think about it like, okay, would someone like Gucci Mane say that? No. Would someone like Young Thug might say something like that.
So,
but
so
like,
why is Gucci Mane the barometer?
Because to me, Gucci Mane is like he's like the godfather of like all of like the rappers now. Like,
but in what context?
As far as like everybody, like the down
lyrically?
No, not lyrically, but everybody that is influenced. Like everybody, I will say like a good part of rappers now are influenced by Gucci.
Yeah, the mumble rappers like Migos and all.
So, but that's what's like at the top now. That's what you hear.
So you're only.
So listen. So if I'm hearing metaphors, I'm thinking like mid 2000s, right? And then I think of like. Of something from the mid 2000s being played now, I'm like, okay, that shit is.
So you're
corny.
not thinking about it in context of quality. You're thinking about it in context of what's popular today, which is an unfair standard to set. If it's good, it's
my
good.
Standard. That's my standard. My
okay,
opinion.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
It is your standard to set, right? But I think it's an unfair. I think personally, it's an unfair standard to set because you're saying that it doesn't matter in what they're producing. It just matters in what's hot right now. So something can be good, and just because it's not popular in the moment, then you're going to disregard it. How?
But if you look at it like that, if you look at it just from like you want Eminem, okay, so what you probably want from a rapper like that is you want to see some sort of growth in them trying to put something that's maybe relevant to like a new listener. But I can tell you, like someone like a Gen Z would listen to that line, they'd be like, "Yeah, this is fucking stupid."
So I could see,
but they also didn't grow up with Eminem at all.
But also Eminem, yes, I'll definitely say that maybe my standard isn't fair because could be just making music for his fans, like his day ones.
Sure,
and that's what they like.
I can meet you halfway and see that you would like to see some evolution in just people, period. So as times evolve, as new trends catch, to implement that into your music, which I think he's tried, you should certainly make that effort. But when it comes down to it, rap is it started about lyricism and translating a message. So people started, so it came from like, talking about struggles in inner cities, and then people started playing with words and putting double entendres like that. That's such a critical part of rap, and I think to dismiss it just because people aren't doing that now anymore.
I'm not dismissing that the technical part of rap, not at all. I just think saying, like a shepherd having sex with his sheep, fuck what you heard. I think that's such a dumb line.
So the fact that he's taken something and making that relation, he's not.
I think
he's not
such a dumb line.
He's always had those lines where it's not supposed to be a serious thing. It's supposed to be it's almost like a dad joke of a line, but it's very clever in the way that he lays the words out.
It's the cleverness of it. It's not. He's not talking about people actually having sex with sheep.
All right, it's
the whole point of it
he's saying
is
like
fuck what you heard.
Yeah.
It's the double
but it's
entendre.
fuck what you heard because he doesn't care what you think, and fuck what you heard because it's a herd, like the sheep is fucking.
I understand what that means.
Yes, but that's how it's clever.
So okay,
that's
so
creativeness.
All right, so let's come to an agreement here. I will agree in the context of making of rap and how it was created and for technical skills, like when rhyming and making songs. Then yes, in that context, I will say then yeah, it's clever. But looking at it from, I guess, the way I listen to music now, and someone like if an older rapper puts out a line like that, I'm like, damn, that was garbage.
So then what is your barometer of what something good is? Like Lil Uzi Vert?
No, I mean, I like Lil Uzi Vert, but like I said earlier, like I consider different types of rap good for different types of feelings.
So when you're talking about
like I said, Kendrick Lamar, to me, that's a very good rapper. I know Kendrick would never say that. It's like a shepherd having sex with sheep.
Sure. But that's not.
I'm caught up on the lyric of that specific lyric,
right.
not the process of making, a metaphor. I'm caught up on the lyric of just saying that. And I think that's ridiculous.
Oh, so context doesn't matter.
I guess.
I'm just because I'm trying to see. All right, so Kendrick is your barometer when it comes to lyricism, correct?
Modern day.
Modern day.
Yeah.
So if you transversed through all of Kendrick's lyrics and he said something similar to that, then you would call it trash as well?
I would say if he were to say that now, then that's trash. If I'm gonna listen to the Slim Shady LP or whatever, and he says something like that, I'm like, all right, yeah, whatever, yeah. So
Okay.
like if I listen to Tyler the Creator now, he's rapping about fucking fashion and loving bees and flowers, right? But I was like, all right, this shit, it's all right. It's all right for what he's trying to grow into. But before he was saying like, kill people, fuck shit, burn, it's like burn school or something like that. Fuck school, burn people, fuck shit or something like that.
Yeah, he was doing some wild shit.
So I'm like, if he were to start,
What was that one called? Wolf or something?
Wasn't
there a song called Wolf that Tyler the Creator had back in the day?
Album. It was an album.
Yeah,
so
that shit was
if he
crazy.
were to start saying that shit now, I'm like, sir, you are corny. You're that, like, it makes no sense because like that's not you anymore. You've evolved. And
Fair.
Eminem being a serious rapper now, well, he's been a serious rapper for a long time now. I think him saying something like that line, I'm not gonna. Maybe at the time, just because like I already wasn't gonna give Eminem like a chance, just because I'm not that interested.
I think you're in the camp, and there's a lot of people in this camp now than I saw it when his album came out that are just like I don't even care anymore.
Yeah,
he's
like,
past
Yeah,
it.
I mean,
But
keep in mind, I've stopped
he's-
listening to Eminem a long time ago.
He's not gonna be that way though. He's just like
Yeah.
any. I mean, the thing about musicians is they're not athletes. They don't have to retire because
right.
I mean, Father Time or. Is it Father Time?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mother Nature. Father Time catches up with them, but it's not the same. Like, they can keep going. I mean, till they're 50, 60, 70 years old if they really want to.
I'm trying to think. Like, what other older rapper now has put out something recently?
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z, yeah, and it's been good.
No,
I mean,
Jay-Z was great.
and it was
Yeah,
actually
Jay-Z.
about his age. It was a lot
Oh, the
about
one with
relevant
Beyonce.
shit.
Yeah.
No,
No, that's Lemonade.
no. I was talking about.
I mean, not Lemonade, but
You're talking about 444?
Yeah.
No, I mean recently.
444.
Yeah, I'm talking about like now. Like I'm trying
Oh.
to think of anybody.
I mean, Wayne put out something.
Oh, that was great.
That was a good album. Who else?
Man, it's so weird to say Wayne is
But
old.
yeah, I mean,
Wait,
but
he's not.
Lil Wayne
He's
hasn't
not, though.
evolved. I mean,
He was
Lil Wayne
super
hasn't.
young at the beginning. He's only.
Yeah, you're right. Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne
yeah, he
hasn't evolved at all.
Not at all.
His
Yeah.
method, his way of
Yeah.
rap, and Wayne still says his lines and the way he sets up his hooks.
He's
and
only
his-
36.
He's only 36.
Yeah,
He's about to die though.
he's been around forever. No,
Why?
he's
He's
been
still
about to
having
die for a long
seizure
time.
Bruh, yeah, that dude won't stop
damn.
doing whatever the fuck he does. I hope he doesn't die. He's like, he's
But
like the
has he
icon
had
of
the
my time.
chance? Has Wayne? But Wayne hasn't had the chance to evolve too. Because he's been shelved by Birdman and that legal issue. Hasn't been able to put out albums and engage the public of like what his like output is, right? And he hasn't been able to modify and grow off of that. He's only been able to observe of what other people have been doing.
I think he has put out stuff, but I think Wayne Saving Grace are two people, Drake and Nicki. I think by him finding them and then by him hopping on their tracks, even when he wasn't putting out albums, he was still doing a lot of features on Drake shit and all of that. It kept him relevant to where even though people were listening to his music and saying this is the old Wayne, it wasn't growing old on them because he was hopping on somebody's new shit like Drake. So people were so enamored with Drake, and then you hear Wayne on it, you're still already hype. You're like,
Yeah.
oh shit, that's
Yeah.
Or you hear Nicki and
Yeah.
Wayne hops on, you're like, all right, shit, that's dope. So Drake kind of like kept Wayne in the spotlight, whereas Eminem didn't have. And I think you're right. Eminem has not evolved at all. He raps in the same exact rhythm, tone. Everything about Eminem sounds the exact same. I still like him for what he's able to do and his cleverness and how he writes, but he hasn't evolved at all. Where Wayne has had, so Eminem didn't let himself evolve and let him, like, when people asked him to hop on tracks, he just recently started like hopping on people's tracks and like spitting on them. But for a while he was just anti all of that shit, and the time passed him by. Where if he had like hopped on a Drake song earlier, or he had hopped on a Kendrick song or somebody like that, I think people would be more appreciative of what he's doing now.
Yeah.
But he tried to stay in his own lane, and people are like, bruh, it's the same exact shit for what, 20 years now? Yeah, it's getting a little bit boring.
But I'm not saying Eminem should quit because I mean he still has a fan base and people that grew up with him. Like if he wants to make music for them, then yeah, by all means do so. Because I hope the rappers that I listen to now continue to make music later on in life, and they make shit that I was listening to at my age. Because I know,
you'd hope.
Yeah, so like I mean, when I'm 40 years old, like I don't know what the hell is gonna be the type of music people are listening to. And I hope Kendrick puts out something. Like,
right.
I'm like, yeah, this is me.
Shit, as long as BET ciphers are still a thing, Eminem is gonna be relevant.
Are those still a thing?
Yeah.
When's the last one they did?
They do them every year.
Is that for the hip hop awards?
Yeah.
When are those normally?
Like
I forget.
June, July-ish.
Yeah, I need to see those again because I forgot what last year's were. I didn't even see them. I don't think.
I haven't watched them in years.
Because BET makes it hard to see them. You
out.
have to go to their website, and it's not till a little later that they put them out there.
Yeah.
God damn it! I'm sorry, I coughed so much.
It's what you call it?
God damn.
Yeah, I'll try to catch the ciphers. Like if the awards are on and I'm at home watching TV, like I'll just flip back and forth and see if I could find it.
Just the ciphers.
I just because again, this is what I grew up on. I remember watching Murder Mook, Sirius Jones. Like I'm talking about just two people in a fucking like I don't even know where they were shooting these things.
Dude, the
at,
Eminem
like
ones
a
that I've seen,
cafeteria or some shit.
The Eminem ones that have
Just
happened,
obliterating people,
well,
bruh.
that was on one of them was for the Trump one, right?
Oh yeah. So
that was wild. He
yeah.
just went by himself for like 8 minutes or something.
Just went in, bro. I was like, jeez.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you remember, like this underground version of battle rapping is still huge. If you go on YouTube right now, there are videos with millions of views of people battle rapping. Because to purists, that ability to be in the moment and think of a line that
insult somebody
that
right
relate,
there.
and then make it flow into a complete story and have rhythm.
I would
to
love
me,
it.
is a
I would love
lost
to go to
fucking
an
art,
event.
dog.
A professional event of that kind.
I love that shit. So that's what I grew up on. I don't know if you remember, but Drake actually not too long ago got into it with this guy called Murder Mook. Murder Mook is like he is royalty in the battle rapping scene.
Okay.
He is that guy.
All right.
And him and Drake got in a little kerfuffle. I think Drake said something about him. Then Mook retaliated like, Drake, you don't want to sit and trade bars with me. And Drake was having no parts of it.
Well, he's lost.
Why would he?
Recently?
To
Quite a few times. Or just once. One really
Yeesh.
publicized time.
That one was
It was a hard one.
that was a rough one.
Yeah.
But like I know it's been talked about multiple times, but do you think he made the right decision in tapping out?
Most likely, because it involved a child.
But I mean, but the fact was already out there. It was already there.
Yeah,
So-
but it was at a point where it was Pusha T was already talking about his fucking producer who has MS and his mom and his dad and his kid.
It was getting to murder level. I think the next.
All right, so
it
if
was
you're
gonna
already
evolve.
putting them in a song, like it eventually might get to something
it
else.
might
So
get
it's
to
like,
murder
yeah,
level.
it's probably time to stop
Yeah.
because I don't have a line. Or actually, he said he had a song and he didn't release it,
Yeah.
and it's like, okay, I see what you did.
Yeah.
Like you didn't fire the missile back.
Yeah.
It's probably a good idea.
Because I think that if Drake responds to Push, it escalates to some Biggie Pac type shit. I think it escalates to a level because in order for him to respond in kind to what Push said, the shit he would have had to say, it's like, all right, now when I see you, it's on site. That we cannot be around each other with shit going down immediately, bruh. So I think it was and it's tough for a person like Drake to be in that position and make that call, but I think it was in everybody's best interest for that shit to die.
Probably so.
That shit would have got murderous, man.
So what do you think about beef for the sport? Not necessarily like because there's bad blood. I remember like Tory Lanez and JID had a beef, but it was just they just wanted to rap. They just wanted to get at each other, just spit bars.
That's what you're just talking about, actually, when you're out of the room, just about like battle rap in general.
Yeah.
No, but like how that's still a big thing where two
Still
people
huge.
can be in a room and actually do that.
I wish
and-
there was more of that.
Dude, get on YouTube,
Like
bro.
sparring.
Yeah, like
It's
Eminem
so
on
good.
8 Mile, right?
It's so
I mean,
good. It's so good, bro.
Everybody in the 313.
Yeah, but dude, I mean, I love rap beefs if it is the Jay-Z and Nas type, where it's just like, yeah, they're going in on each other, but it's primarily kept to insults amongst each other. There's no gunshots being fired, and then at the end of the day, it gets hashed out. If that's how, but there's real bad blood between them for a while, because that's when the best music is gonna come out. If it can maintain to that and not lead to like 50 getting stabbed by Ja Rule's gang, or Biggie getting shot by it, or Tupac, I don't like it if that's the outcome.
Yeah, that sucks.
But if they can keep it to where it's like no shots get fired,
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. I like seeing people duke it out.
I'm
I like
trying
a
to
little.
think recently what has escalated to violence. Oh, Takashi?
Oh no.
No, Chief. Skinny from the Nine and YBN Almighty J.
Oh no, I was gonna talk
I have no
about.
idea what you just said.
Damn, what is his name, bro?
Please explain.
I'm pretty sure this is what happened. YBN Almighty J is part of like the YBN like crew. They're like not bad. You know YBN Corday, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
He's you probably like him if you like J. Cole. He's pretty good.
Okay.
Pretty much all that happens like YBN Almighty J like ran up on Skinny from the Nine and he just snatched his chain or something like that. But recently YBN Almighty J got a fucking Hennessy bottle broken in his face.
Damn.
Got his shit snatched and he got his ass beat. And now who's the guy who got involved into the beef with Drake and Pusha, the old guy, the old head, the OG? Sorry, OG.
Oh, the guy that told Drake not to put out the ending track.
So
I forget.
YBN Almighty J is signed to him. Cash Lot Records or something like that. And he said, if you're in Brooklyn, if you're in New York, or if you know the dudes that fucked up my artist and snatched his chain because you stole from me, be on the lookout for him, right? So then, originally after the incident, those guys that fucked his shit up. I mean, that guy had like a big like cut on his face. Like,
if you get hit in the face with a Hennessy bottle,
I mean, they fucked him up.
Yeah.
So at first they're like flexing. They made a music video with his chain.
Damn.
And then once what's his name, the OG, he said, no, you're gonna get fucked up because he did that. The guy puts on his story, nah, you guys don't even know the full story. That's not what happened. I mean, I never intended for this shit to escalate. I'm like, you broke a Hennessy bottle on the guy's face.
I know.
His picture's all
All
over
right,
TMZ.
all I'm thinking is right now, all right,
Sheesh.
here's my face. And a Hennessy bottle,
It's
It's
thick.
a big,
It's
it's
thick.
a club.
and it
It's
hits
thick.
right here. Like,
Yeah.
everything is broken.
Yeah.
In your face. Everything.
You should look up the
and
picture.
there should,
It's
like,
it's
some of the
nasty.
shit is peeled back, I would assume.
Yes, that's exactly how his face was.
I bet it was
Yeah,
cut the
was
fuck
nasty.
up. Oh, my God.
I remember one of my friends. This was actually like prom. We were on a party bus or whatever.
Damn, prom.
Well, I wasn't there. It was a friend of a friend, whatever. Anyways, friend of a friend.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Actually,
Covering his ass before he tells the story.
Allegedly,
Like,
this
I
is
wasn't
what
there.
happened.
This is a friend.
Allegedly,
friend.
this is what happened. So they were on the party bus, and we were all like standing out being stupid, and then like the bus driver they were all standing being stupid, and the bus driver braked. The guy had a big ass Grey Goose bottle, like the massive ones, right? When when the bus driver braked, he just fell forward with a Grey Goose bottle and like hit this chick on the head. The bitch went home. She was concussed. She was
Oh my
out.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, those bottles are
Like,
big.
but thank God it didn't shatter. But like
Yo.
just the damage that without it shattering alone would have made.
Might have been
that
better if it
impact.
shattered.
Actually, yeah,
True.
maybe. Yeah, but still, like,
You
dude,
just got thunk.
ruined her prom. Dude, but to this
Damn.
day,
Wow.
they still joke at and make fun of him.
Oh, well, hopefully.
This shit's hilarious.
Yikes,
She's
dude.
okay.
Yeah, no, she's cool. She's cool, but he's an idiot.
Oh, I know who the rappers I was talking about. It was Yo Gotti and whoever the other guy is.
Oh,
what
Young
the-
Dolph.
Yes.
Oh,
That shit
my
got serious, bro.
God. Yeah.
What
Then
happened with that?
He they were beefing for whatever fucking reason.
He
I don't
didn't
remember.
sign to him. He didn't sign. He didn't want to sign to Yo Gotti. I think
That's what it was?
Something
Yeah,
simple,
but
bro.
then
That
and then
seems simple.
Yeah, and then he got like disrespectful or whatever, and then like the part where it escalated the most, I think it was in Charlotte. Young Dolph was like in some parking garage, or he was parked, and then some dude just ran up with like a machine gun and just
100 shots, bro.
blasted his car.
100
But
shots.
his
And he
car-
didn't die?
He didn't know. The car is all bulletproof.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and he
Yeah.
put out an album called, or I'm pretty sure it's called 100
100
Shots.
Shots,
Yeah,
yeah.
the song's hard.
Yeah.
The song's great. Young Dolph, he's
100
good.
shots, bruh.
Yeah.
I mean, that's wild if you
yeah.
lived through that.
Yeah.
If you already had a bulletproof car just in case
Yeah.
some shit like that happened,
Bruh.
just because you saw like a Rambo movie or something, and you're like,
Bruh.
I gotta get the bulletproof car.
Could you
Why
imagine?
not? Of course I'm gonna need it. Of course somebody's gonna try to rob.
Could you imagine
damn,
that shit?
crazy.
And then being in the car, hearing the screeching of the tires, and hearing
No.
that first
All
click,
right.
click,
No,
and you know, oh, this shit
Dude,
better work,
once
bro.
yeah, exactly. Once the
Yeah.
bullets start hitting,
Oh,
you're just hearing like
man.
thunk, 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 and you're like, oh shit, is there cracks? Are there
Oh,
cracks?
man.
Are there cracks in this shit? What is
Could you
happening?
imagine? Oh man.
Damn,
I'm trying to think who
damn,
else. Oh, Tekashi got kidnapped over beef.
for real.
Some blood. You guys didn't know about that?
Nah,
Well, I mean,
bruh.
didn't
He got
yeah.
kidnapped. He really got kidnapped.
Oh yeah, he got thrown in the back of like a van.
Yeah,
and,
they went to his house.
Here's my issue: when you're this famous and a lot of these dudes are in this life. I don't think a lot of these young dudes. I don't think they faking it. These motherfuckers are crazy, and I think they
yeah,
really be in this
they're
life.
rapping to get out of the bit.
Yeah,
basically.
they really been in this life. So I'm like, yo, once you get to a point where you see your fame and your career starting to take off, why don't you get the fuck out?
But can you get out? Because that's what happened with Tekashi. He was already way too deep, and his dudes were fucking him
How
over
long is
towards
he
the
going
end.
to prison for now?
Supposedly he
Cut some deals.
Supposedly he has a cut a deal. He's going to be sentenced in September of this year.
Like
but
10
because of
years.
the deal they cut, I was like reading through the documents. Apparently he might not get any jail time.
And it's conspiracy to commit murder, right? Or did he
It-
actually?
One of
I'm
those,
pretty sure it was a
yeah,
RICO case.
Yeah, one of those charges I think was attempted murder or something like
Yeah,
that.
we
Because
got-
he had sent people out to kill
Yeah.
somebody.
He put out a video on Instagram saying I got 10 stacks for anybody that
Jesus,
shoots
bro.
Ball Out or Tato when Chief Keef, Tato, and him were beefing, and Chief Keef and Tato came to New York City. So they were staying at some hotel. Chief Keef comes out of the hotel, and one of Tekashi's shooters or whatever starts shooting at Chief Keef, but I don't think he meant to shoot him. I think he was just trying to scare him. He shot like the hotel instead.
Did he shoot? Did he hit him?
No, he didn't hit him. He hit the hotel though, and that's part of it.
Oh yeah, that's
yeah.
easily attempted murder, bro.
Yeah.
Damn, bro.
Supposedly they ran up on some dudes over heroin. They jacked their heroin or something like that, or they stole their cash for or something like that. Yeah,
Man, these dudes like what, 16?
But the thing is, like,
between the ages of 16 and like 21.
yeah, probably.
Jesus,
Yeah.
bruh.
Yeah, so TK, he's in prison. He's about to get probably the death sentence because he's in Texas. He murdered. So I think he murdered like one person or two people at a Chick-fil-A either after pulling out of a Chick-fil-A drive-through. He just fucking killed somebody.
For what?
I don't know what it was, but then he made the song "The Race."
They didn't give me Chick-fil-A sauce.
Yeah. No, not the restaurant. There was somebody in front of him, I think. Then now he's in prison in Texas, and the other two people in the car, they already pleaded guilty, so he's the only one left, still waiting. And then he made a song, "The Race," which blew up on Twitter, saying that he's doing the race. He's running away because he was hiding from the cops during the moment. So he put out that video, the music video, and the song.
I think I
That's what
actually
blew
heard
up.
about this.
God damn it, the fucking mic.
I think I actually heard.
It sounds better when you're when it's in front of you.
Yeah.
I think I actually heard about this dude, man. Damn,
You
bro.
don't you don't watch like Breakfast Club or anything?
Nah, not like that. Like
yeah.
I watch certain clips about when certain people come on, but I haven't watched it in a minute though.
I definitely heard
Yeah.
that story about it. The song blowing up on Twitter though.
Not a bad song.
Fuck
This
me, dude.
it is very dark though. There was recently a photo of him. He's wearing one of those turtle suits they put on inmates so they don't kill themselves. So like I mean
Like a straitjacket?
Like no, it's not really a straitjacket. It's like
The
so
fuck
they don't
is a
have any.
turtle
They
suit?
don't have any like any. It doesn't have any like cloth that he can use to tie like
Oh,
a
true,
rope.
true. I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
I mean I don't. I mean I don't feel bad for the guy, especially if he did
No,
it. But like,
bro, like,
damn, that's still shocking to see that. Yeah.
Turtle suit.
I don't know if that's the name, but
Fuck is
it's
a
like
turtle
it's
suit?
turtle something.
Bruh, I mean, and that's the thing that frustrates me, bro, is again, like you have an opportunity to you're gaining popularity. It's like I know it's not that easy to just pick up and bounce,
Yeah.
but like man, stay at your uncle's house across the fucking state, like something
Or
to
use the money
or
from
you-
your deal or a tour just to get out. Yeah.
like under any circumstance,
Yeah.
like leave from all of that. And I mean, there's so many, and you would think now with the way that rap is going that it's the most popular genre in the world. Everybody wants it. Everybody listens to it.
Yep.
And all these avenues to become successful doing it. You would think that people wouldn't feel that necessity to, all right, when you're in the 80s and 90s rapping and it's not really that big and you like, fuck, I gotta sell crack until I actually get paid.
Yeah.
But now it's like, bruh, once you get like a couple 100,000 fucking Instagram or Twitter followers, you can pretty much peel back from whatever you're doing in your personal life and just try to capitalize on that. I would think that people would move like away from it more, but it seems like there's this
Maybe
culture.
ego.
Yeah, or this. Do you feel like there's this culture amongst younger dudes because things may not be as difficult in certain scenarios that they have to prove their worth as like being hard and shit?
Yeah, yes, especially with rap becoming more accessible to
Yeah.
everybody because of the internet.
Yeah.
Back then, like you have to know certain people.
Well,
to
the
get your shit
subject
to
matter
get
has got to be so much more diverse now, and it's not as real. All the subject matter, a lot of it's got to be made up in a certain sense,
Right.
just because not everyone's
That's a
living
good
that
point.
life. Not everyone's living that life, but that's the life people want to hear about.
That's a good.
So back to Tekashi. I mean, I hate to keep going back to him, but he's a prime example.
He's a great
he's
example.
He's a prime
best
example.
and he
of all this
sticks out
shit.
with
He was
that rainbow hair.
Yeah. He was just this
And
kid,
the
like
6'9" on his fucking
yeah.
face.
He was
What
just
the
this
fuck?
kid. He was just some fucking 18-year-old kid or however old he was.
Any of
Yeah.
the Bloods? Sorry.
That's
Any
the
of the
thing.
Bloods?
That's the thing is that initially whoever he was signed with, whoever was his manager, originally the type of music that he was putting out was like metal rap. And then once he signed to a different label, they started the different label, or the different manager. It was the guy who was like involved with the Bloods. That's when they started getting him involved, right? And that's when they started getting him in the life. So the persona seems
just built
legitimate.
upon itself. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look at the music video Gummo. Like, do you think like a fake rapper is gonna be able to get all? I mean, then again, sure, you could probably pay a bunch of people to dress like that, but like, that's pretty dangerous on its own.
Yeah.
So
that is, and I've kind of noticed that trend.
So yes, definitely with rap being accessible to everybody, and especially if you come from
are all of his top 5 popular songs 4 letters?
that's like how he titles them. Yeah,
Every song?
not all of them, but some of them.
His all top 5 are all 4 letters songs?
They're pretty hard.
We have
I'll say that.
Bebe, Kika, Mala, FIFA.
Those
or
aren't the
FIFA,
top. Oh, those are
Fifi,
top. Those are
and
most
Mama.
recent.
They're all fucking 4 letters.
Kiki's pretty good. Though. I'll say Kiki's pretty good. But yes, if rap is accessible to everybody, and you
Jesus,
come
this
from a certain
motherfucker.
area that if you don't come from that background like people back then did, I guess.
Yeah.
Then you're probably gonna feel some way to prove yourself.
Yeah.
So
I definitely think that's going on because I felt like there was when the rap first started coming up, early 80s, 90s, it was like, there was no question these motherfuckers were in the shit, right? And then once rap caught a hold on not just the US stage but a global stage, then people didn't have to like live that life anymore, so they started becoming your average rappers were like Cole, like, okay, yeah, we grew up in the hood, but we're not killers, we're not gangsters, and there was that age of those type of rappers, and then it just seems as of recently there's been this drive to go back to no, fuck you soft rappers who, y'all from the hood, but y'all ain't about shit. Now it's like these young dudes are like, oh, not only are we about that shit, we gonna show y'all, through fucking Instagram videos of killing people and doing all this wild shit, and I'm like, I'm curious to
Xanax.
and the drugs
clout.
and shit.
Clout is the dangerous drug that
Yeah.
we're talking about. They want clout.
Oh,
Clout, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
you're
That
right,
is the
you're right.
drug.
No, man. So I, speaking of Instagram, I was bored as fucking sick as shit the other day, and I found a
Two best
show
things.
on not Instagram, on Netflix called Insta-Famous.
Oh yeah, I watched that.
Did you?
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
that's how I fucking found it.
Oh, yeah.
I was fucking sucked in.
It's
Every
fascinating.
episode, every one. I watched them all. They're only 7 minutes long.
It's fascinating.
And you go in there, and it's a couple of them I knew, like Cold Game Kel. Do you know who that is? The dude that fucking
the
with the
deer.
deer.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
man,
he's
I love that
awesome.
dude.
Yeah,
He
he's
was one of my
awesome.
favorite accounts before I
Yeah.
saw that. But some of the people, you're just like,
Who else
They
was on? I haven't
ran
watched it.
Fat Boy.
Yeah,
Oh, Fat
something.
Boy's hilarious. You know,
All right, but
oh,
the
he's
way
so
that he
funny.
became famous was literally he sat in a chair and had his girl feed him McDonald's while he
Yes,
yelled
yes.
what he wanted at her.
Yes.
And that made him
So
famous.
funny. It's so
And now
funny,
he
though.
has a Ferrari
Yeah.
or
He-
Lambo
he has
that
a
he was
rap-
washing
he has
in his
a rap
driveway.
career now,
Yeah, I
too.
know he's a rapper now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But every person on there was like, you know, without it, they were so thankful. They were like, without Instagram, my life would not have be this great. You know, Fuck
Yeah.
Jerry was the first person on there.
Yep.
Oh yeah, he's
Yeah.
probably the
He's
the
the-
original.
he's- yeah,
Oh, he's
he's-
the biggest
yeah.
on there for
He's
sure.
the one who started it.
Yeah.
And I guess you got to ask yourself,
It's some.
is it a good or a bad thing? Because
Some of them you can see. It's like, okay, this is like,
be,
all right.
yeah.
So the one dude in Hawaii that just takes pictures of waves, you're like, this man's the happiest
Yeah.
ever. He's just taking
That is
pictures of waves.
so wholesome.
But then other,
Wow.
but then other shit, you're just like, all right, some of the it
this
just
is gonna
seems-
end bad.
Yeah, like,
like
you're.
Boonk.
I've never heard
Boom.
of him.
What is? Yeah, what does he
Boonk?
do? Oh, what does he do?
Oh my God! Please pull up the Boom Gang. Boom Gang passes out on. Oh, just pull up Boom Gang. Boom.
How do you spell that?
BOONK gang compilation on YouTube. This man literally got famous for
What?
running up
For
to
stealing?
jewelry. Yeah, stealing. He runs up to stores, to jewelry stores. He's like, yeah, this is pretty nice. Blah blah blah.
Oh,
and he's
yeah,
like, Boom
yeah,
Gang,
yeah,
Boom
yeah.
Gang, Boom Gang. And then he just runs out and he films it all.
Yeah,
He
I saw him.
fucked
Like,
his life up. He got on drugs hard. The last I saw of him was he was doing a live stream with this guy Adam22. He's like a rap like interviewer guy, whatever. He has a podcast, or not anymore, but anyways, he was just high as fuck off Xanax and just passed out live on Cam and Phil.
really?
And now I haven't seen him since.
So that guy just steals different things.
Yeah, it's funny, but towards the end it just got sad. It was really sad.
Well, I mean that's
he was
how a
always
lot of
high.
that.
He was always high with
the
Xanax and
social
pills and
media
shit.
famous people, it seems like a lot of
Yeah.
it is sad at the end because there's not a lot of substance to a lot of it.
Damn.
But,
So
yeah,
here,
you know,
and this is why I ask whether it's a good or bad thing, because well, there'll be those insta famous stories where somebody gets famous from it, but how many other thousands of people are risking their jobs, their livelihood, their health, all of this in order to have those 15 minutes of
you know what
fame?
I actually liked? Did you get to the Lexi Pantera one?
No.
She's hot.
She's the one that just twerks online. That's
Certified
her just,
babe.
But she had the best fucking quote of any of those Insta famous
Uh-huh.
videos on Netflix.
Uh-huh.
It was that I use Instagram only for business. Like
Yeah.
it's a business tool, period, and that's it.
I
And I
fuck
was like,
with that.
damn, okay,
That I
that
fuck with.
actually that's how, you know, if everyone used it like that,
That I fuck
obviously
with.
the people that are making a ton of money off it are eventually using it like that. So that's pretty cool.
I've always made the case when I'm having conversations with my friends and I'm like, yo, you know, Instagram and all of that, it's not too good of a thing, and they're like, but people can use it to make money and get famous. I'm like, is
Yeah.
that what you're using it for? Okay,
Most
That's
people
the-
are using it as a time waster.
That's what I'm saying. It's like if you're using it to get your money, get your paper, boo boo. I'm all for that. But if you just wasting 4 hours of your life and you have gotten no more income from doing that, I'm saying that's the part that's bad. But if
Yeah,
you
for
get
sure.
money like that woman is getting just for shaking her ass, I'm about to call my girl tonight. Like, baby, we got some ass shaking to do. Like, come on, girl, get them clappers on, cause we're trying to get paid out here, bro.
Oh shit.
Get them clappers on, man, because I definitely respect that it has given an avenue for a lot of people who otherwise, a lot of talented people. Because before, man, before the internet, become a famous comedian or act, bruh, you had to have the stars fucking align.
Yeah.
Now with fucking Instagram,
There's so many opportunities now,
dude,
for sure.
now if
Dude,
you
yeah.
legitimately funny, legitimately interesting, legitimately whatever that people like and want to see and hear, fucking
Wait,
they'll
so
find
you saw some of those episodes though?
Yeah.
Did you see the guys from New Orleans?
Some
black
of it.
dude
I
and the
think
white dude?
I think I fell asleep on that
Where
one.
the black dude just makes a weird voice and the white dude just dances and like that's their whole fucking thing from New Orleans. It's so funny. It's so fucking funny. I don't know what it is.
Pete. Fuck, I forget his name.
Yeah, but the dude just
Right.
does some.
It's pretty funny though.
Yeah.
He does dance. I mean,
It's some New
entertaining,
Orleans
yeah.
dance that he does, but yeah, it's pretty cool.
But then again, though, like, I definitely see your point because, like, the report thing on iPhone where it tells you how much time you spend on certain things
Oh,
is
really?
damning.
Oh, is it?
Oh,
I don't have
I'm
that. Android
embarrassed.
doesn't have that. Good.
I am distraught
Yeah.
of how it tells you how many times I pick up the phone just and
Oh,
go
yeah.
straight to Instagram.
Oh yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
like,
It tells
dude,
you all of that
I
shit.
wanna know.
So
It tells you all of
bad.
that
That's
shit.
cool. So bad.
It tells you, and I look. everybody knows some idea of what addiction looks like,
Me.
and you gotta have a conversation with
Yeah.
yourself and myself too, because I pick up my phone a lot as well. I don't have social media, but I might scroll on news, and you gotta ask yourself, all right, what does addiction and too much look like for me?
It's crazy because
and if I pass that
new
threshold,
parents have to think, when do I expose my kids to everything, like in terms of media and technology? When do I expose them to the internet? When do I expose them to certain shows, certain movies, I mean, obviously the shows and movies, things they've always had, but the internet and then social media and then a device in order to access that, like that's a whole new frontier that
So-
parents have to
So
deal
have
with
you
now.
have you seen that thing about YouTube for kids?
No.
Or YouTube where
Yeah.
the toy opening.
No,
shit?
where it's there's basically actually go ahead, Christian, you explain it.
oh thank
No?
you.
All right,
All right,
sorry.
thanks.
That's all right.
Yeah, I'm a guest. Whatever. It's my. It's actually my podcast. I'm the
Yeah,
guest.
there you go.
So basically, on YouTube, a lot of these videos that are targeted towards kids, it'll be like Elsa and Spider-Man. Like in one video, the reason they'll do like buzzwords or these like names because it gets clicks. Because like if you're a child, like you don't have like you're not gonna process these things unless you see like Elsa and Spider-Man. But the thing is, like, all these videos, like, they'll have all these characters, but they'll be doing some crazy shit. Like, there would be videos of Mickey Mouse, like, killing, like, Spider-Man, or, like, Elsa.
They're embedding it in the kids' videos, yeah.
And the thing is, it's like...
Oh, my friends have 2 kids, and they said that all the Paw Patrol dogs died, and one of them.
Oh, my God! Oh, my God!
That's savage.
Remember the I don't remember, what was that Shark Dance? The shark dude.
Oh, baby shark dude.
They were a bunch of them. I remember I got into a rabbit hole on Reddit because they made it was called Elsa Gate. That's what it was called.
Yeah.
I got in a rabbit hole on Reddit. I was following the subreddit because I was seeing like, because there was this whole conspiracy like because the comments like in these YouTube videos, they were like coded. They were coded.
Oh, for pedophiles, right?
For pedophiles, yeah. They were talking about some,
Yep.
So you know.
Oh, yeah, the pedophile rings on YouTube.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, shit is deep.
Yeah, so
Shit is
like,
deep, dude.
how, where, like, what's safe for kids? You know, like
fucking nothing.
Yeah, when do you expose a kid to the internet? Like,
Bruh.
do you ever?
Because I think Andrew made I don't know if you meant to say it like this, but you said it a good point. You were like, if I'm gonna introduce my kids to technology, when do I introduce them to everything?
Yeah.
Because the minute you give them a device, you give them access to everything.
Yeah, you do.
And when do you do that?
Well, and it's also like, say even you want to allow your child to play video games.
Yeah.
That's internet. I mean, your any device now accesses everything.
My Xbox, I can do everything we're doing right here on your computer. I can do on my Xbox.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, so how? And I don't know. I don't know if I give my kid a phone or access to the internet. They'll have that Chrome tab where you can only click on like 3 things. I think you have that until they're like 15, because I mean we've talked about that the guy who was on Joe Rogan talking about how kids are different today, and they were basically saying you shouldn't let your kids have access to like social media and shit till they're like the 8th grade, man.
Oh yeah,
You know what I
it
mean?
really fucks them up.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I mean, you see
Yeah.
kids go. I mean, on the news at least, that go home and kill themselves because of or they kill themselves because online bullying. That wasn't something I even had to deal with when I was a kid. Like
Wait,
bullying,
what? Really?
bullying stopped when you went home.
I guess when I was in middle school, that was like the big thing.
Yeah,
like,
see-
not online bully. That was a big
Yeah,
thing.
see, like I didn't have that because, like I said, 2006 is when I graduated high school, and that's when Facebook kind of came around.
Yeah.
So, you didn't have online bullying. When you went home, the bullying stopped.
It's
And
just,
when you
I'm
went
out.
to school, it was back on. But, I mean, that's insane that kids have had to deal with, obviously, going home and dealing with that 24/7, really.
So let me ask you this, and then Christian, same question to you, but more importantly, Andrew, like when you were first on the internet, was the general consensus around you that even though it was the internet, saying something fucked up to someone, you still felt bad about it? And I want to know if it's different for you and your friends, Christian, because
It wasn't that. I don't think it was that out there because before social media, like the internet, like chat rooms were out there and stuff and forums, but those
True.
aren't public.
Yeah, but
to people.
So that's different. I'm talking about when it was like you are talking to a person, this is their profile, and it's targeted at this individual. There was still this sense of, nah, that's fucked up, bruh, where I don't think that even connects now. where that when you think about saying something shitty to somebody online, you're like, fuck it, it's online. Who cares?
So I think. Or you go ahead.
I don't think that ever went away, or I don't think that was ever
A consideration.
not a thing.
Okay.
I think it constantly was a thing.
Okay.
Even now. I mean, I think
Definitely
people
now.
think that you're online. There's no ramifications to what you're saying because you're one step removed.
Yeah.
I disagree. Actually, I think before that, when I was like in middle school, like back mid 2000s or whatever, I think back then you just say whatever, like doesn't fucking matter. But now, back to cancel culture.
True.
If I was like 18 or whatever, and I was tweeting some shit, and I'm seeing like all these people get taken down from all these crazy tweets.
Yeah.
I mean, I personally would think like, man, I probably shouldn't tweet this. Back then, people said that to me, and it wasn't a thought. I mean, I remember having to go back and delete some shit. Like I deleted my original.
So glad
I deleted my original Instagram because I was posting some crazy shit.
Yeah.
And back then I was like, I mean, so what? The guy's underage. He's fucking puking on the floor and whatever. Who cares? He has a dick on his face, like drawing dicks on his face. Like, imagine that. Like if someone, if he was like, if that guy was running for office and they pulled that off my Instagram, like how bad I would feel because they fucked his life up over that, dude. Like,
actually, you do make a good point. You're right that back then we didn't understand what it was enough to understand the consequences of our actions.
Yep.
You're right. So I got to revise that people at least it's more on the forefront of your mind nowadays that whatever I do or I say on this platform might exist for fucking ever and could come back to bite me in the ass. So you're right.
But then again, like we're adults, so who knows what these kids are thinking.
Dude, I've tried, man. And every once in a while, I'll run into somebody that's 21, and you'll have a conversation with them, and you'll be like, "Wow, dude." Those conversations give me hope because it's like, oh, you when you're that far removed, you tend to think, oh, these motherfuckers are idiots. They don't know shit. But then you have a conversation with some group of kids, and you're like, man, nah, we'll figure it out. We always have. Just like our parents thought we were fucking soft and we were idiots, and we somehow figured it out, and I think they will too.
I hope so.
Yeah, my niece is in that whatever the next generation is after Z because
there's
that
another
only goes
one
down to age 3.
It doesn't end.
Well, no, it doesn't end. What are you talking about?
Please end. Please just end.
You're just like, where's that asteroid at? I swear every day I read a fucking story about an asteroid that's about to whiz by this bitch and almost hit us.
Quit
It's like,
teasing
come on,
us.
do it.
Do it.
I see this damage.
I wish it felt like when you're in a car that's standing still and you're on the highway or something, and a car whizzes by you and it shakes your shit. I wish it was like that with asteroids.
Everybody
was
just like,
oh shit,
I should step away from the road. Like maybe we need that. We need the natural.
well, no, what that would do is everyone would band together and be like, damn, we all got to figure this shit out.
Yeah, we got to blow up this
what we were worrying about, all this online shit.
We're just too here.
This generational shit.
But then you have the guys like, the asteroids aren't real. It's not happening. You can't believe science. It's fake news.
And then we send out the first millennial. To destroy the asteroid.
Me, bitch.
Christian.
Me.
I heard a funny argument read a funny argument online the other day. It was like, wouldn't it have been much easier to train astronauts to drill than it would have been to train drillers to be astronauts, like in Armageddon?
Wait, what? Hold on, what?
True.
You know in Armageddon when they fucking had to
true.
train the drill team to be astronauts to go up and drill into the
You're saying
asteroid?
Well, I didn't hear the thing. Like,
all right, you know the movie Armageddon.
I've never seen it, but I'm sure.
Do you know?
I've watched like no movies ever.
It's from 1998, so
That's way too old. That's way too old. Just kidding. Oh, sorry.
you know that movie though, right? You know what I'm talking about? No, Ben Affleck and
Bruce Willis?
Probably.
And dude from the Green Mile?
Anyways, it's a drill team, an offshore drill team that they send up to an asteroid to drill and put a bomb in it to blow up the asteroid so that the Earth lives. But it's a dumbass premise. The argument was, why not just train a whole group of astronauts that already know how to fly, how to drill into the asteroid? It would take a lot less fucking time.
I legit have never thought about
That is so funny.
until this moment.
Yeah. Made no sense.
That destroys the whole
because
movie for
Bruce
me.
Willis was not an asteroid. That's why, because he couldn't have been in it then. So, by the way, I have to brag about my accomplishment. I got Lydia to watch the whole first season of The Wire.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, so we're into it now. So
there you go.
we got it.
You got her hooked?
I mean, kinda, I guess.
Okay.
I mean, we're we're watching it.
Yeah.
So she liked it. I think she liked it.
It's watchable, and as long as it's watchable, you can be entertained yourself because it's really for you.
Yeah.
It's the greatest fucking show ever.
Well, guys, we just did 2 hours and 45 minutes, whether it seemed like that or not.
Damn.
Yeah,
That was good, man. That was fun.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, Christian. And I guess everybody can catch us tomorrow on Terrence's podcast, Boys in the Huddle. We'll link to that somehow eventually.
Tell
so.
Terrence to say what's up.
Yeah, we'll definitely. So, thanks for coming on, Christian, and we'll. I had a song. Yeah, I had a song for the outro, and then I fucked it up.
No, play that Eminem song.
No, oh, yeah.
Please play the Eminem song.
No, I can't do that one. Not anymore.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been lovely.
Goodbye.
Psychedelic flow, I'm the dope and the antidote. Laid down the street from the package store. What you know? Going back and forth, in and out, moving lateral. Tools like mechanics, taking women for collateral. Put her on the saddle with a paddle and an Adderall.